Alright, hello everybody, it's me, Clock, and we're playing Bread Makes the Heart Aflutter, a visual novel yaoi game where one of the characters runs a bakery and maybe falls in love. Start. In the bustling capital of the kingdom of Celius, tucked between the city walls and the forest nearby, sits a cozy little bakery called A Slice of Comfort. Inside its timber frame walls is the sole owner and baker, Emil Mayer, whom even the local fae consider a close friend. Every day one can smell the delicious aroma of all the freshly baked goods he prepares for his customers. I think it's Emil. If it's Emily, that's okay. But I'm going to say Emil. The fluffy golden brown loaves of bread, the perfectly round donuts covered in a delectable chocolate icing. These are only a few of the things one could enjoy here at the bakery. Starting his daily prep bright and early, he wonders who will end up visiting today. Choose a route. Sold out. Meal fuel. Fuel? I've never had this. Meal fuel? Donut holes. Okay, they're called Timbits. In Canada, we call them Timbits. Buddy, donut holes. They don't punch no hole through your donut, bro. Let's go with the donut holes. I love Timbits. It's a pleasant day. The weather's warm with a gentle breeze that carries the scents of all the flowers blooming in the forest nearby. I stand by the door of my shop and gaze out the window, taking advantage of the lull I have right now to relax and collect my thoughts for a moment. As I'm staring out into the lush green fields beyond the city's border, I hear the doorbell ring. Chatty trio I've grown used to seeing at this hour waltzing inside. Literal fairies, okay. Good to see you, Emil. No, it's Tim Bits. We've chopped up his body. Hiya, Emil. How are you, Emil? Hello, Snowdrop. Hello, Azalea. Hello, Magnolia. It's good to see you too. I did not know this was a fantasy game, by the way. I just saw Bakery and I was like, oh, Bakery Yaoi game? Awesome. Chat's gonna love this one. Wholesome. The pint-sized, energetic group before me are fairies who live in the forest nearby. It's been quite some time since I first met them, and they've become regulars of my shop ever since. Do you have the goods, Emil? Maggie, you've got to stop reading those crime novels. But yeah, I got the sugar. But yes, I set aside the bits from my batch this morning, just for you three. Take out a box from behind the counter and place it in front of them, opening it to reveal a large collection of cut-off bits from the cakes and other desserts I made earlier. Three of them flutter about happily as they pick out pieces from the box and sit down to enjoy them. Is tea alright, or would you three rather have some juice? I'll have some tea, please. Me too. I'd like some juice if that's alright. I give them a nod as I walk over to the kettle, turning it on as I open the cupboard to pull out the cups I have set aside for them. Some dollhouse pieces I bought from a toy store in the city. Wow, I'm considerate. The trio gets comfortable at the counter in the meanwhile as they start their usual chit-chat about any topic that comes to mind while stealing bits from their snacks. That's so cute, dude! I'm glad it's spring. Emil always makes those really good cherry tarts around this time of year. You mean like the one you tried to sneak a bite of and instead fell head first into? Shut up, I just tripped, that's all. Because of how long it took to get that cherry off of your head, I thought we'd have to change your name from Azalea to Cherry. Hey! These three always have so much energy. Once the water boils, I prep a larger, human-sized cup for the tea to steep in, and then take out the bottle of juice and delicately fill one of the tiny cups full. After the tea finishes steeping, I take it and pour the contents into the remaining 2 cups, gently carrying all 3 of them over to the trio who excitedly reach out for them. Thank you, Emil. Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome. Let me know if you'd like anything else, alright? Okay. They go back to their gossiping, taking sips of their drinks every now and again while doing so. Oh yeah, while I was out foraging, I saw part of the procession from Regis headed towards the capital. What, really? Then I guess those rumors about the prince were true. Unable to quell my curiosity, I turned to look at them in the middle of my cleaning. What are you talking about? Oh, do you not know, Emil? There's been talk that Prince von Regis is set to inherit the throne soon. That's right, his coming-of-age ceremony happened a few years ago, so he's now at the age to start preparing for it. I see. I lean onto the counter next to them, now fully invested in this conversation. Have you three ever seen the Fey Prince? What's he like? We have a friend who visits from the capital sometimes, and she's met him. How did she describe him again? A bit standoffish. Keeps to himself mostly. Right. When he does end up talking to someone, he's actually really nice, even if he can be a bit awkward. I see. He sounds interesting. Things are a bit strained between him and the king, though. Yeah, they've apparently fought because he doesn't want to think about the throne yet. I hope things turn out okay. The three of them nod in tandem as we hear the bell on the door ring again. Oh, wait, cool. Goblin! Good day, Emil. Oh, good day, Mr. McGraw. Entering the bakery is Ronan McGraw, goblin from a town over who helps me with the shop's finances. Oh, based old man. He notices the trio sitting on the counter, then shakes his head. Emil, what have I said about spoiling these three? And you, don't bother Emil so much when he's working. Ugh, the old man's here. Emil, he's nagging at us again. Heh, they're being good this time, I swear. Dude, everyone's designs are really nice. He simply sighs, then goes over to his usual seat next to the windows. As he gets comfortable, I go over and grab everything he needs. This month's finance reports, the box of receipts, and of course, a cup of freshly brewed coffee and a cream puff. Carry all of this over, setting it down in front of him with a smile. This should be everything. Let me know if you need anything else, alright? Of course. Thank you, Emil. He lets out a happy hum as he takes the first bite of his pastry, starting to flip through the pile of paperwork in front of him. Chat, what's your favorite pastry, man? I fucking loved baked goods, okay? I don't know why. I'm a cook, but man, I wish it was a baker instead, because that shit is way better, man. I love baked goods, man. My favorites are like the Danishes and stuff. I love that. It's so good. Danishes, strudel, that sort of flaky filling stuff is so good. Banana zucchini bread, you need to die. You need to go to hell, and then tell me what it is after you come back, okay? He lets out a happy hum as he takes the first bite of his pastry, starting to flip through the pile of paperwork in front of him. Brother, it ain't banana bread if you're throwing a whole zucchini in it. Just deep throat the zucchini instead. I don't care, okay? Tiramisu is really good. Yeah, I like tiramisu. After a little bit, he turns to me with a pleased nod. The shop's doing quite well this season. You probably won't have to worry much about the summer months if this trend continues. That's good. I really want to experiment with some tropical fruit this year if I had the budget to. I'll keep an eye on the market for you, then. There's a small window of time where they're more affordable than usual that we could take advantage of. He lets out a chuckle, followed by a reflective sigh. You're rude, and your opinion on this matter is stinky. No, it's good, and make it with good bananas instead. Honestly, I still can't believe how you started this shop to begin with. Those prices you originally had. Just thinking about them makes my blood pressure go up. And one would think you were selling fish, not bread. I let out an embarrassed chuckle. And I'm forever thankful you helped me fix my prices, Mr. McGraw. Hey man, prices are something that gotta change, you know? Sometimes you gotta change your prices, you know? It doesn't matter how much work you put into it and you charge high if no one wants to buy it, you know? Of course, my boy. I'm glad I offered to help you all those years ago. I can no longer imagine the city without a slice of comfort. As he flips through the pile of papers, taking notes and sipping his coffee every now and again, he continues. For a baker's effort? Yeah, bakers put in real effort. I used to work with a couple of them, and whew, in a couple of places I worked, and bakers got to wake up at like 2 a.m. sometimes, 3 a.m. You know, they're baking all the way till like 6 or 7 a.m. when they open, and then they still got to bake for the rest of the lunch, and it's like crazy what they do, man. It's heavy lifting, heavy work, hot trays, hot ovens, everything, man. It's crazy. Speaking of the fisheries, it seems like things in the West are finally back to normal. That's good news. It's been so long. It really felt like things would never improve. No, isn't that the truth? Yeah, man. Folding dough, beating dough, plapping that dough, dude, it's hard work. The Western Harbor suffered especially because of that Navy coup. It was such a frightening event. I let out a sigh of my own as I think about it. Over 15 years ago, the Royal Navy was split by an internal coup, which then broke out into a violent skirmish that engulfed the harborfront city in the process. Even the Fae that lived in those waters only returned to the city years after it all settled down. Can't begin to imagine what it was like for the people living there. I'm glad you're here in the capital, my boy. I'd be fraught with worry if you lived there. Yeah, right. I let out another sigh while I continue my work at the front counter. Soon after, Mr. McGraw finishes his coffee and cream puff with a satisfied hum. He then organizes all the paperwork into a couple neat piles before he gets up from his seat. That should do it for today. I'll go file this at the bank, and you can go later in the week to pick up the reports from their end. Of course. Thank you so much, Mr. McGraw. This is, like, insane for a fucking fantasy world. Think nothing of it, my boy. You know I'm always happy to help. He pulls out some money from his wallet and places it on the counter in front of me. As he starts to make his way to the door, he turns to the fairy trio, who have been busying themselves with gossip this whole time. And you three, don't stay too long. Emil has work to do. Understood? Ugh, fine. Take care, Emil. Safe travels. I like his freckles a lot, Emil. He heads back outside, the bell on the door ringing quaintly above him. Meanwhile, the fairy trio gets up from the counter and flutters about, giving me cute little curtsies. Thank you for the food, Emil. It was delicious as always. You should come visit us sometime. I'll be sure to drop by on my next day off. You three take care now. They wave at me happily, and after pulling out some money from their pockets and using their magic to make it human-sized again, depart as well. I wave them off, then lean on the counter with a happy giggle after the bell chimes. I don't think I'll ever get used to what the fae are like around here. I have been meaning to visit the ones deeper in the forest, though. I'll have to take a look at when I can. On a moody, rainy night, I find myself alone in the bakery. Because of how dreary it is outside, no one's visited the bakery all evening. I spent that time cleaning up the front area a bit as a result. Ah! Brace myself against the counter, my heart in my throat because of that crash of thunder just now. It's alright. It's just thunder and lightning. Nothing else. It sounded pretty close by, though. I hope the fae in the forest are alright. As I start to consider going outside to check on them, I hear a knock at the front door. Oh, coming! 1 moment. I quickly put my cleaning supplies away and open the door. Excuse me? Hello, handsome? Is that you, Malleus? This guy looks like Malleus, by the way, okay? I'm just gonna say this now for the YouTubers who watched my, there's someone in the corner of my room, everyone commenting, Malleus, Malleus, whatever, okay? This guy looks like him. As they enter, they take off their hood, revealing a person I haven't seen in these parts before. They're quite tall, with dark ebony hair tied into a low ponytail that continues down to the middle of their back. Their bright green eyes stare right at me, and their fair skin stands out in contrast to all the dark colors they have on. Dude, you got horns. He's horny, dude. Is he a tiefling? What are you? Like, tiefling... What the hell? Of course, the pair of horns on their heads stand out the most, especially when the faint lamp lights bounce off of them, reflecting a subtle green hue. Yeah, he's horny. Like me. Like you, I mean. Welcome. Sorry about the wait. Let me go get you something for you to dry off. You can hang your cloak over there on your left. Wait, he actually looks kind of cool, though. Thank you. With hasty steps, just so I don't make them wait long, I run to the back and grab a towel. Are you new to the area? I haven't seen you around before. Yes, I am. Actually, I'm wondering if you could help me find a shop I'm looking for. Of course, I'd be happy to help. They dig out a note from their pocket and look it over. I'm looking for a bakery called, A Slice of Comfort. If you could point me in the right direction, I'd appreciate it. Well, aren't I lucky? I blink at them for a brief moment before responding. Oh, well, you're in luck. You're inside it. This is a slice of comfort. Pardon. They look around the front area with a bewildered expression before looking back at me. It's smaller than I thought it'd be. My shop's a grower, not a shower, or, my apologies. I guess it's about time I introduced myself. My name's Emil, and this is my bakery. So you're that human they keep talking about. I see. Oh, are you the prince? That would make sense. That would make a lot of sense. I'm Damon. I'm from Capital Regis, visiting with the King's procession. Oh, okay. It's nice to meet you then, Damon. Never mind, he's not the prince. I hold out my hand, and they give me a gentle handshake. I'm surprised someone from the Fae capital knows about my shop. Though, how'd you come to learn about it? Through your little fae? There are a lot of fae that come and go between the two capitals on business, and I overheard them gossiping about this shop, and about you. I got curious, so I figured I'd try and find it since I'm here anyways. Chew! The rest of their sentence is cut off by a sudden loud sneeze. Sorry. No worries. Hey, here, why don't I get you something to help you warm up? Feel free to sit wherever you'd like. That sounds good. Pardon me then. As they decide where to sit, I go behind the counter and get to work, setting some water to boil as I cut a slice of apple pie. What would you like to drink? I've got water, juice, tea, and coffee. Tea sounds good. I'm fine with any flavors you have. Giving them a nod, I pull out my box of assorted tea bags and sort through it. I then pick out one of the bags of fruit tea as the water finishes boiling. Wait, that's what they always say. Wait, what are you referring to, Ren? Placing the bag in an empty teacup and pouring the hot water onto it, I gingerly carry it and the slice of pie over to Damon. Don't worry about it. You know, Ren, I'm worried for you. Do they always tell you it's small when they see you? I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. You know, Ren, you know, it's more about how you use it, okay? That's the secret. It's how you use it, okay? Killing me with hammers. I'm killing you with hammers. I'm gonna waterboard you. In fact, right now. Everybody take a sip right now. Get a hydration in. Placing the bag in an empty teacup and pouring the hot water onto it, gingerly carrying and the slice of pie over to Damon. Ah! He hit me. Here you are. Let me know if you'd like some sugar or honey. Look over everything carefully and then cautiously cut a bit off of the slice and pop it into their mouth. Oh man, apple pie is pretty nice when it's cold and rainy outside. After a little bit of chewing, their face lights up and they dig in with more enthusiasm than earlier. This is delicious. They take the teacup and gently blow on it before taking a sip, their face brightening even further. Hydrate to waterboard Croc. No. But I will take a sip. Thank you for the hydrate. Everybody, take a sip. And this tea goes so well with it too. Emil, right? How did you make this taste so good? Oh, I put my special ingredients inside of it. I'm flattered. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so I've been revamping and reworking my recipes for a long time just to get them right. I see. I think I'm starting to understand why everyone talked this place up so much. They continue eating the pie, taking their time to enjoy the flavor while stealing sips of their tea in between bites. Oh, did they go by they them? Oh, my bad. I don't know if they go by they them or he him. But it looks like we're using they them actually. This is the first time maybe I've even noticed that. I'm really bad for that. As they clean their plate, the rain starts to die down outside. Damon gets up and turns to me. I'm really bad at picking up on that. I'm actually proud of myself for seeing that now. Thank you for the food and drink. Would it be alright if I stopped by some more while I'm visiting? But they did label this a Yaoi game, but I guess that wouldn't change too much. Of course, you're more than welcome to. They pull out their wallet and hand me a small handful of coins. A bit too much for what they had, admittedly. Let me get you some change. Don't worry, you can keep it. Consider it an apology for calling this place small earlier. Yeah, now that you've seen how I can use it. Yeah, you shut up now that you know how I use this small place. Yeah, grower. I grew on him. I can't help but laugh, then give them another bright smile. Sure, let's go with that. You take care now, alright? Exactly, Killer Cat Black. Thank you too, Emil. Good night. Good night. What the fuck? Wait, run that back. Ah! Green! They open the front door and step outside, vanishing in a wisp of green sparks. The Fae are always so interesting, but Damon seems to be even more curious than the rest. I can't wait to see him again. Yeah, me too. Oh, it's a beautiful day. Time flies by and I'm greeted by my next day off. Since I didn't need to prep anything for the shop, I managed to sleep in a little bit before packing up a full basket of baked treats and heading out. Oh, we go into the forest. Follow the path to the forest's edge, then step past the boundary to head further in towards the grove. The grove is close to the heart of the forest, and there is always a clear path, so the trip could take longer than expected. On the way, however, I can enjoy the sights and sounds of nature around me, which is always something new to look at with each visit. Sorry, I have like the hiccups right now. It's already been a few years since I first met the Fae in this forest. Time really flies. Surely nothing bad? Nothing. The memory of my first encounter with them plays in my mind. It was a rainy night, and I was busy working in the kitchen after closing the store when I noticed something shining out in the darkness. Oh! I gave in to my curiosity and went to take a look, finding a sick fairy hiding in the nook of a stump nearby. After checking if they were injured, I brought them inside and nursed them back to health. Once they got better, they introduced themselves as Azalea. It took her some time, but once she warmed up to me, she showed me the grove and introduced me to everyone else living there, as thanks for helping her. They've all been friends and regulars of the bakery ever since. After a bit of walking, I finally make it to my destination, the hidden grove deep within the forest that my Fae friends call home. Between the glistening blue waters of the central pond and the leaves dancing in the wind, the space has always felt so mystical. Right next to the banks of the pond, I see the nymphs chatting away. Thistle, Undine, I'm here. More cuties? Emil. They wave at me enthusiastically as I make my way over and sit next to them. But where are the men? Where's the Yaoi? No, I'm kidding. We have patience. Have patience. Emil's here. Behind me, I hear the fairy trio flutter towards us as Azalea flies into me with a gusto and gives me a big hug. With gusto! Don't fly so quickly. It hurts when you bump into people like that. It's alright. I'm not bothered by it. The other two fairies flutter next to me, Magnolia shaking her head with a sigh. Honestly, Emil, you spoil her too much. Thistle and Undine giggle at the fairy's antics, then they eye the basket in my lap. What'd you bring along this time? It's those scones again, the ones with the berries. They were so good. I'll keep that in mind for the next visit. But no, I brought over some Madeleines. Yeah, I love the art style. That's what made me click on it. I won't lie. I judge books by their cover kind of often on this. Doing this whole YouTube thing, I gotta look for the art, man. I gotta see who's got some popping off art. And I saw this and immediately was like, all right, what's the game? What's the game? I gotta play this. I spy the pout Azalea is giving me out of the corner of my eye. I also was very intrigued because it's not too often we get a Yaoi that has like a MC already that's not like a your name character. You know, insert name here character. And some tarts. On cue, she spins around in happy little circles as I pull out a small cloth and lay the baked goods on top of it. A grower, not a shower who judges by appearances, shaking my head. It's small. Leave me alone, Ren. If that's what it takes, leave me alone. Once they're all out, everyone helps themselves to their pick. Meanwhile, Thistle ruffles my hair a little. You look a little tired, Emil. Been busy at the shop? It's that obvious, huh? Yeah, the capital's been really living as of late, or really lively as of late, because of the procession from Regis. Been getting more customers than usual because of it. Oh yeah, the wood sprites were talking about how much traffic the capital's been getting lately. It's the first time Prince Von Regis has gone outside of the Fae capital, so everyone's dying to finally meet him. These three were talking about him at the bakery last time. He seems kind of interesting. Undine shrugs at me. We've never met him, but he's apparently the total opposite of little Princey Zeke. Cool as a cucumber, with an air of mystery to him. He's also quite the looker from what I've heard, so don't go falling for him now, okay, Emil? Undine playfully makes a heart shape out of some water from the pond, and I pout and avert my gaze. Enough about the prince. We've talked about him with the sprites so much already. Tell us about the human capital. That winter solstice festival you talked about last time sounds so interesting. Thistle looks at me with a sparkle in her eyes, several flowers on her blooming from her joy, as I let out an embarrassing chuckle. Azalea and I and the others visit the capital quite a bit, though. I'm sure they have more interesting stories than I do. I just spend all my time in the bakery. That's not true. Remember when you told us about the sword fighting competition last summer? The one where your aunt won by a landslide and then embarrassed you in front of everyone by dedicating the victory to you. I feel my face grow red just thinking about it again as I sigh. Why do you remember that? They all giggle at my blushing. I also really liked it when you told us about all the new books they brought in. Thank you again for letting us read some of them. You're welcome. Although I did get an earful from the librarians after what Undyne did with some of them. Undyne pouts with a huff. I said I was sorry. I didn't think that the binding would unravel immediately when it got a little wet. Deanie, you dunked that book into the pond. Well, books should be sturdier. We gotta waterproof them, boys. We all share a laugh at how flustered Undyne is getting. Azalea then speaks up in between bites of the tart she's slowly working through. Speaking of books, I think it's kind of funny that how you're basically the same as the Emil from that one book. You even have the same name. What was it called again? Oh yeah, The Baker of Fairyland. The Baker of Fairyland, one of the most popular children's books on the continent. It's the story about a baker named... Maybe it is Emily. No, Emily is spelled with a Y. Emil. Named Emil. I guess Emil. Yeah. Oh wait, this is a dude. Emil who uses his bakery to help the visiting Fae solve their problems. Sorry, I thought it was a girl. Not bad. It was written by an author here in the Human Kingdom to help their child understand the Fae, but it ended up resonating with everyone who read it and gained unexpected popularity. I feel a little embarrassed as I chuckled softly. I guess it is kind of funny, huh? My name came from that book, believe it or not. What? That's so cute. Wow, we just fulfilled destiny. Do they still make copies of that book these days? I'd love to read it again. I'll see if I can bring you a copy next time. Thistle and Don give me happy nods before Thistle lets out a sigh. I do feel bad that you have to constantly bring things to us. I'd love to be able to leave the grove sometime and see all of this myself. Wish we didn't need to be constantly connected to nature. Yeah, if us mooching off of you gets annoying, just tell us, okay? Oh, come on. I don't mind at all. It beats staying in the bakery all day. Besides, you two have helped me a ton by letting me use all those plants you've grown here in the grove. I suppose that's true. Those jelly treats you made with those edible flowers we gave you were pretty good. We've got another batch growing, so you're more than welcome to help yourself in a couple of weeks or so. I'll keep that in mind. Amid our chatting, I'm suddenly interrupted by a loud yawn. A blush lights up my cheeks again as I rub my eyes awake. Sorry. Guess I am as tired as I seem. Thistle giggles at this and then shapes the ground near her feet into a soft mound. She pats it lightly as she smiles at me. You can rest here if you'd like. We'd hate to see you so tired before you walk all the way back. Alright, if you're sure. With a giggle of my own, I lay down onto the space Thistle made for me. It's so soft and comfortable that it feels like I'm laying in my bed, which draws another yawn out from me. Thistle gently brushes the hair from my eyes as the fairy trio sits down close to me. Getting comfortable, they help themselves to some more treats. If I nod off for too long, could you wake me up before the sun starts to set? I don't want to walk in the dark. Are you sure this isn't a Yuri game? Well, we're playing a dude, so yeah, I'm sure it's a Yaoi game. Trust me, bro. Trust me. If you're sitting here and you're like, where's my Yaoi dose? Where's my man? Where's my sex? Okay, you need to chill. Sometimes you gotta let a story play out. You gotta have some patience, okay? You don't need a dopamine hit every 10 seconds, okay? Chill. We just saw bro. Give him a second to come back around. Of course, sweet dreams, Emil. Thistle delicately pats my head, and as the gentle scent of the flowers blooming around us wafts by, I feel myself slowly falling asleep. Have some patience, no worries, man. On a bright early morning at a time when most people are still asleep, I'm already up and busy preparing for the work ahead. With the morning glow peeking in through the windows, I bake the first batch of the day, clean the front area, and get the next batch of my more popular items ready to bake when I need them. In the midst of wiping down the counters, I suddenly hear a knock at the door. Huh? Who could it be at this hour? I put away the rag and make my way to the door, opening it to see a certain someone on the other side. I think, there you go, man. You just had to wait. Like 5 minutes, not even. Good morning, Emil. Good morning, Damon. I'm surprised to see you here this early. I could say the same to you. He's interrupted by a sudden loud yawn as he rubs his eyes to stay awake. Are you alright? Suffering from a combination of lack of sleep and being forced to wake up early. No one is meant to be conscious before the sun is fully in the sky. The shop doesn't open for another few hours. If you'd like, you can take a quick nap on the couch. I motion towards the couch near the windows, and after staring at it for a moment, Damon gives me a little nod. That sounds good. Pardon the intrusion. Letting out another yawn, he saunters over to the couch and makes himself comfortable. I head over to the kitchen in the meanwhile, grabbing the kettle and quickly preparing a cup of tea for him. After it steeps for a bit, I carefully carry it over and place it on the coffee table next to Damon, whose nose twitches a little as the aroma wafts in his way. Thank you. Is this, Okay, I know someone in the chat's gonna hate me for this. Is this chamomile? Or chamomile? Some people say chamomile, but I say chamomile. I don't know why. I just grew up saying like, the people around me said chamomile, okay? So don't hate. Don't be a hater. And I can't say chamomile, okay? I don't want to say camel and mile in the same word, okay? Yep, I figured it'd help you fall asleep easier. Yeah, chamomile? No, I don't like saying it. It's so weird. Chamomile. Gently blows on it, then takes a little sip. I don't know why. It's just... Maybe it's the Canadian... Maybe it's like a Canadian way to say it. I don't know. If the smile he has on his face afterwards wasn't a sign that he likes it, then seeing his ears wiggle with glee certainly does. You know, even though I said all that, I know right now someone's watching this on YouTube and be like, I don't care what you said right now. In the comments, they're like, I don't care what you said, Clock. It's chamomile, okay? It's chamomile, okay? I love camels that walk miles. And you should too. Chamomile. If the smile he has on his face afterwards wasn't a sign that he likes... By the way, that's actually one of my favorite teas. Wasn't a sign that he likes it, then seeing his ears wiggle with glee certainly does. Cute. This is nice. Thank you again. You're welcome. If you need anything else, just let me know. Gives me another nod, and then I head back over to the front counter to continue organizing the first batch in the display. Do you always wake up this early? Most days, yes. Gives me enough time to prep everything I need to open the shop with time to spare. On average, I'd say I get up around, I guess, maybe 5 a.m. at the latest. That's pretty good, honestly. You can get everything done in 2 hours. That's, like, amazing, okay? Like, I used to know bakers getting up at 3 a.m. 4 a.m. at the latest. Like, 5 a.m., that's pretty good. On cue, Damon yawns once more. Ugh. That sounds awful. I'm too much of a night owl to even think of waking up before 9 a.m. No offense, by the way. None taken, no worries. I was the same way when I was little, honestly. I'd always have to literally get dragged out of bed if my parents tried to wake me up before 10 a.m. This gets a chuckle out of Damon, who continues taking sips of his tea. So, what changed? As simple as it sounds, I got used to it. I lean on the counter and let out a happy sigh. My mom had her own shop when I was little, so I'd have to wake up early to help her out. It was tough at the start, but eventually we turned those early hours into a time we could spend together. I see. That sounds nice. It's similar to me and my mother. We used to stay up late into the night, reading whatever books she brought as an excuse to spend the time together. Used to. The worried look on my face must have caused him alarm as he quickly shakes his head. No, my mother's fine. You know, as weird as this sounds, I have something similar. Okay, you guys are gonna kind of hate on this one. My mom and I used to read the Bible together, okay? We would do a reading of the Bible, okay? My mom used to be very Catholic, okay? And, personally, when I say very Catholic, I actually don't mean very Catholic. She just read the Bible and did a prayer at night. That's pretty much all she did. And I did it too with her. And honestly, no, I actually think the Bible's great, as a story. That sounds so horrible. This sounds so horrible. Both me and my mom, by the way, indoctrination, there's no indoctrination. I was Catholic. I was born. I went to church and stuff like that, you know, that's just culture, you know. I'm not Catholic anymore, by the way, just to let you know. I'm not practicing. My mom isn't either. And we would read the Bible. It was a great way to spend time together. My mom just did it. I like a lot of the stories in the Bibles, but to me, they're just stories, you know? And I think to my mom, she just kind of did it out of habit as well, you know? But so there's some great stories. Like, if you look at some of the stories and don't, like, think about, you know, the whole, like, this is the real world, you know? There's some cool stories, man. Love some fantasy book time? Yes! Later on in life, me and my mom played video games together, and we would talk about, like, TV shows and stuff later on, but that's just something kind of similar I did. I hate family gatherings because they're very Christian. Yeah, see, when I say my mom was Catholic, like, that's literally the extent of what we did. We didn't do anything more. And they never, like, hate, like, they never, like, were like, God will punish you. No, nothing like that happened, okay? No, my mother's fine. My father's just been running me ragged for a while. Not to mention all the studying he's been making me do. The king? Maybe. As a result, I've just been too busy to spend time with her these days. Real. I really miss it, honestly. He lets out a sad sigh. There's a brief awkward silence between us before I speak up again. What sort of books did you read together? Damon chuckles a little. It might sound odd, but she's always been fascinated by books from the human kingdom. From fiction to non-fiction, she'd bring just about anything home if it caught her eye. There was even a children's book that she considers her absolute favorite. The Baker of Fairyland. Slicks hair back? Slicks my hair back? Hey, I'm Emil. I was named after that book. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Wait, really? I know it's popular, but I'm surprised it traveled all the way to the Fae capital. Thank you, Ren, for with the pick up the save with Riz. My mother is partially responsible for that. She made sure that any and all books from the human kingdom could make their way up to us. There wasn't a single exception to this. This gets a chuckle out of me this time. I'm glad to hear that, though. It makes me happy knowing more kids got to read it. Wi-Fi's janky. We'll rewatch. Have a good one, Peachy Danny. See you around. I hope it gets better, though. I grew up with that book, and even now as an adult, I go back and flip through it when I need pick-me-up. I understand what you mean. I read it ages ago, and yet I still remember how good it felt seeing all the Fae find happy endings with the kind Baker's help. Right, like the bit with the wind sprite in the middle of the story. Exactly. And the part at the end with the... Bro fell asleep mid-sentence. Damon's sentence starts to trail off, and his eyes grow heavier and heavier as he seems to finally succumb to his sleepiness. What an EP boy. To be fair, the chamomile probably didn't help keep him awake. It probably helped him sleep. I giggle to myself while I watch this. I then quietly go to the back and pull out a spare blanket, bringing it over and carefully covering Damon with it. Now's the chance to capture him. What do you mean? You think this place has a basement? He wraps himself with the blanket in his sleep, muttering to himself as he curls up even more. Sleep well, Damon. Taking the empty cup back to the kitchen, and I get back to finishing my morning prep, quietly this time, to make sure I don't wake him up accidentally. The early morning, usually so uneventful, but interrupted by a pleasant surprise today, peacefully passes by just like that. Very nice. After an especially busy week passes by, my next day off is finally here. The bakery is closed, and I've spent today catching up on all the chores I've let slide. Since the moment I wake up, I've been cleaning and organizing everything in the front area and kitchen, and scrubbing down every area I can think of to make sure it's all neat and tidy. Every bakery has a basement, don't you know? No! They have a storage room. I guess I could put him in a sack of flour or something. I can bag him. To-go bag. In the middle of looking through the pantry, I hear a knock at the door. Huh? Who could that be? I put down my things and head to the door, opening it to see my fairy friends eagerly waiting for me. Hello, Emil. Hi, Emil. Hey, Emil. Hi, Emil. Sorry. Hi, right back, you three. How can I help you? Three of them suddenly glare at me, gesturing pointedly at the shop. You're working again. Don't think we aren't aware today's supposed to be your day off. Look, when you own a store, there ain't no days off. Workaholic. Azalea smacks me on the head with a pout. It's alright. Just getting some chores done, that's all. The angry expressions they're shooting at me don't falter at all, as all three of them let out a sigh. See, I told you two we should check in on him. Yep, you were right after all. This dummy probably skipped lunch too. Listen, You're banned from working today. The Baldur's Gate 3 fairy lamp? Oh, you don't want to mess with those fairies, bro. Or do you? Yeah, so pack up a big lunch and come with us. Do I get a say in this? No! Oh. Why? What the hell? Why'd you hit me? I let out a sheepish chuckle, then sigh as I head inside to grab a few things. Well, I've got a fully stocked shelf apparently on my day off, so you know it's okay. Filling a basket with a variety of sandwiches and baked treats, I head back outside to the fairy trio, who are fluttering excitedly. Come on, let's go. Follow us. I'm coming. Sorry, what? I lock up the shop and follow after them, running with hasty steps as they lead me towards the grove in the forest. I wonder if we'll see a certain someone there. The walk through the forest goes by faster than usual, due to both running after the fairies and them refusing to answer any of my questions about what's going on. As we get closer to the pond, I see Thistle and Undyne like normal, along with someone else I wasn't expecting to see chatting with them. Emil's here. Hey, Emil. It's good to see you, my boy. Mr. McGraw, why are you... This was the secret Yaoi! I look at the grass around them, realizing they're sitting on top of a large picnic blanket with several plates and utensils neatly spread around it. Romance the goblin! I'm suddenly interrupted by Azalea, who flies in front of me and yells with full enthusiasm. Surprise! As you're supposed to wait until after we tell him what's going on. But I don't want to wait. Can someone finally explain why I've been dragged out here? Mr. McGraw shakes his head with a sigh, then adjusts his glasses. You three are terrible at elaborating as usual. Emil, this bunch planned a surprise picnic to help you relax because of how much you've been working as of late. Oh, but I had to pack the food. Bye, idiot guy. Bye. I look at everyone else, who all nod happily. Wait, really? You didn't need to do that, though. Yes, we did. You were working on your day off. It was dire. Hey, now. Undyne giggles as she interrupts. We got the idea the last time you visited while you were taking your little nap. We also figured a certain old fart could do with a break as well, so we reached out to him. He's the one that got all this stuff. Undyne gives Mr. McGraw a smug smile, who looks away and clears his throat. You didn't have to include that bit, but fine. I suppose a break every now and again is good for me, too. I look at everyone around me, watching as they turn and give me such tender smiles, and feel myself starting to tear up from all of this. You all, that's just... The fairy trio suddenly flutter around me with worry. Don't cry, Emil. Maybe we should have told them ahead of time. No, it's fine. I'm just really happy right now. Do my best to wipe the tears out of my eyes as I continue with a bright smile of my own. Thank you, everyone. This is really sweet of you. They all huddle around me, the fairies cuddling close, the nymphs ruffling my hair, and Mr. McGraw gently patting me on the shoulder. Undyne then calls out to everyone with enthusiasm. That's enough tears now. Let's get this picnic started before the sun goes down. Everyone then finds a place to sit on the blanket as I pull out all the food I brought with me. Along with a handful of hearty sandwiches and a selection of scones, I also pull out a container of the fairies' favorite treat, donut holes. The round cakey spheres lined in the inside of the container with a variety to choose from. Some are covered in powdered sugar, some are filled with jam, and some are even covered in a layer of chocolate. You should try filling the ones with jam and covering them with powder. I hear that's a really popular combination. Upon seeing them, the fairy trio starts fluttering about happily. I could be a millionaire in this world, chat. Donut holes! Yeah, you brought our favorite. Thank you, Emil. You're welcome. I always feel bad that most of the things I make are too big for you to enjoy, so I'm glad there's at least one thing that's perfect for you. They enthusiastically grab some and make themselves comfortable on the blanket. I feel like that's still too big for them. CG, dude! Hey, Emil, why are they called donut holes? Because I popped them out of the donut with a certain special tool. She's just gonna be like, oh, but he's like, because it looks like a donut, the middle of a donut, and it's made out of the same material. Shut up, it's called a Timbit. It's because we killed Tim Horton and chopped him up and made donuts out of him, okay? That's because they're the bit that's left over from cutting out the holes in a ring donut. Ooh, that makes sense. She takes a big bite out of the one she's holding, chewing with a bright smile. So good. Gulp, taking a leftover bit and turning it into something yummy. That's so smart. I'm taking another. Now, by the way, that's not even true now. Nowadays, it's not even true, bro. Most places, like corporate places, they don't do that. It's made out of a different type of donut. Azalea, finish the one you started first. As we all laugh and chat together, I take a moment to think. Taking a leftover bit and turning it into something. That fits this group quite well, to be honest. 3 fairies, 2 nymphs, and a goblin, all lesser fae that are common throughout the continent, and often don't draw too much attention as a result. But honestly, by the way, most donuts, like ring donuts, like, they don't make them, like, and then punch a hole through them. That would look really weird. That would just look really weird. Like, no, they just make the ring. And then you can just use the dough for anything else, really. Just mush it back. But whatever, you can do this. It's totally fine. It's totally fine to do this. There are a lot of places that do this. 3 fairies, 2 nymphs, and a goblin, all lesser fae that are common throughout the continent, and often don't draw too much attention as a result. Whole hater? I'm a whole lover, okay? I want you to know that, okay? I like to find them over making them, okay? I'm not that aggressive. But that doesn't mean they can't be something special when given the chance. Just like they love and support me, I want to do the same for them. Not only for all they've done, but also because they mean so much to me. As the gentle spring breeze blows by, carrying the scent of flowers starting to bloom, think about a certain fae that isn't here with us. They can, okay? They can come from donuts, okay? Damon, I wonder if he would have come along if we invited him. I suppose I'll just have to ask next time. Emil, you better grab some food before Azalea inhales all of it. Yeah, the pint-sized eating machine is out in full force today. I'm being bullied again, Emil. I'll let out a happy chuckle and spend the rest of the day enjoying the picnic and everyone's company. Oh, that was it? For the route so far? Oh, what the hell? Wait, that was it? What? What? That's it? I didn't know this was a demo either, by the way. I didn't know this was a demo. I didn't know this was a demo. I thought this was like full. Wait a second. Oh, okay. Okay, I think there is more to this, chat. There is more to this. There is more to this, okay? There is more to this. Okay? Okay, you have to unlock the 3rd route that focuses on the romance. Okay. Sorry, I'm thinking about this. YouTube? I'm gonna go pick that 3rd route. Okay, I'm gonna go pick that, I'm gonna go pick the mill fuel route, okay? Okay. YouTube, we're picking it. I'm gonna save right here. YouTube, I'll continue the video in 10 seconds, okay? But I gotta dip out right now, so I will record the rest of this at a later time. Okay, YouTube? Thank you for watching. I hope we get to the romance very soon. If you're enjoying the videos, clock that like button and subscribe. I'm sure we're gonna get to the I read the game page and it said there is a romance route. You just gotta unlock it. So we'll do these 2 routes, and then when the 3rd one unlocks, this middle one, that's when we'll get to the romance, okay? But I'll see you in 10 seconds, and the video will continue like nothing happened, okay? YouTube, I'm back. Sorry about that. Now, we continue with the 2nd route. It's a picturesque day outside today, with not a single cloud in the bright blue sky, and the weather, while warm, is still pleasant enough to enjoy the outside. As the sun shines in through the windows of the bakery, I go through my usual routine. Baking the first batch of the day early in the morning, preparing the coffee, beans, and tea leaves so they're ready to brew, all the regular things. In the middle of my work, I hear the bell ring and see a certain boisterous noble walk inside the shop. Z-Cart? Good day, my dear Emil. Pngtuber, don't ruin the immersion for them. Good day, your highness. The loud and energetic person that waltzed in is Prince Z-Cart, the crown prince of the kingdom of Celius. Ever since I first opened this little shop of mine, he's visited every day that he could, never failing to flirt with me upon every visit. The sun in the sky is especially bright, but your presence fills my life with even more light than it ever could. Would you like your usual today, your highness? He lets out a dejected sigh as he slumps over. Wow, I like the purple eyes, I'm not gonna lie. Once again, without hesitation, you ignore my advances. One day you'll give me an earnest response, I swear it. But yes, my usual, please. I let out a quick chuckle before setting some water to boil in the kettle. I like him. I'm not gonna lie, I like him more than the last boy, okay? I'm gonna be so for real. I like that. I like that I like the commitment. Every day? Chat, do you know how annoying that is to show up to a place every day? That's kind of insane. That's love right there. Meanwhile, Prince Zekart finds a seat and slumps onto the table with a sigh. You seem less energetic than usual. Is something the matter? I'm quite flattered that you're concerned about me, my dear Emile. But yes, things have been rather busy as of late. All of this must be weighing on me more than I thought, if you're able to tell. I slide a cup of coffee and one of my freshly baked scones in front of him, which perks him up after the first bite. Gosh, I needed this. But yes, as I was saying, things have been extra busy in the palace as of late due to the Fey Kingdom. The Fey Kingdom. North of our border lies the Fey Kingdom of Regis, and the capital that sits near what are known as the Crimson Peaks. Long ago, there was an animosity between the two kingdoms, but after a land agreement was formed, we've enjoyed an era of peace. What exactly is going on to give you so much extra work? Zeke pauses mid-bite with a surprised look on his face. Oh, have you not heard? The Crown Prince of the Fae is apparently set to inherit the throne from his father soon. Oh, that's what you mean. I heard about it from the Fae that visit from time to time. That's right. Because of that, there's been a lot of talk about with the ministers about what'll happen with the land agreement. Everyone's expecting to have to renegotiate it after his coronation, especially after what happened at the Western Harbor. Meanwhile, I've had my hands full getting ready for their visit, as the Fae royal family and some of their envoys are set to visit soon. He takes another bite of his food and lets out a happy hum, his face lighting up with glee. The negotiations would go so much easier if they had some of your baking. It'd probably make our lives easier if they fell in love with your food as well. I chuckle once more and take his empty coffee cup, pouring him a quick refill. Aren't you also set to inherit the throne, your highness? Gives me a strong pout and a sigh. Yeah, give him the Ugh, don't remind me. I heard enough about this from the ministers earlier. When will you find a partner and inherit the throne? It's about time you did. The headache of the throne aside, I just don't have any interest in finding a partner right now. Excuse you, you just flirted with me, bro. You telling me you're just trying to get a one-night stand out of me? Take me out to dinner first. He looks up at me after saying that, then gives me that smirk of his I've grown so used to. Unless, of course, you should find someone who'd better suit you, your highness. That smirk immediately changes to a sad pout. It's honestly impressive how easily you reject me, Emile. Although it says a lot how you're still the only one who ever takes my flirting earnestly. Even my own mother doesn't take my crush on you seriously. I'm still thinking about it earlier at the palace. What the hell? Earlier that day. That cabinet meeting was even more boring than usual. Queen Robertina? Okay, what is this name, bro? Did her parents hate her? Robertina? What? Just call her Tina! And that's because the ministers kept bombarding everyone with a dozen more questions than normal. They truly have nothing better to do, don't they? But they do have a point about one thing. Zeke, dear, when will you finally find a partner? Mother, not you too. Don't mother me. It's about time you started thinking about the throne. Stop, you fucker. Stop. I see you in the chat. No. You're the same age as the Fey Prince, and yet you haven't even begun discussing your plans for the future. Same age in human years, at least. Details. You also haven't given any response to the young ladies I've introduced to you thus far, because I'm not interested in any of them. Mother, there's only one person for me because I love Emile. Oh, sweetheart, everyone loves Emile. That's nothing special. But I mean, I'd like... Speaking of, I have that tea party coming up this Friday. The ladies would absolutely love to have some of Emile's baked goods. Marjorie, are you there? Where did she come from? His ass? I'm here, my lady. What? Even he was surprised! Marjorie, be a dear and run to a slice of comfort for me. Get some of those fruit tarts of theirs, oh, and a box of macarons for this Friday. Of course, I'll take care of it promptly. Take care, Prince Zekeheart. Must she always scare me like that? Yes. The answer is yes. Emil's chill as fuck? Yeah, he is. Zeke finishes recounting his ordeal from this morning, taking the last bite of his scone with a sigh. Do you see what I mean? I gave him a sheepish chuckle in response. Her Majesty sure is something, all right. Although, now that you mention it, I haven't seen Marjorie yet today. What? But that was this morning. Where is she? Out of his asshole! Good day, Sir Emil. Ah! In an instant, Zeke leaps out of his seat like a scaredy cat and bolts across the room. Okay, I'm more like Zeke, if anyone. Marjorie pays no mind to this, however, and simply offers me a polite curtsy. Good day, Lady Marjorie. Prince Zeke already informed me that Her Majesty wishes to order from me for her tea party this Friday. Wonderful. That saves me the time to explain. Her Highness wishes for a dozen fruit tarts and a box of macarons. She's fine with whatever flavors, so long as there's a healthy variety. I don't think they're healthy if we're eating cookies, lady. I grab my notebook and quickly jot this all down. Of course, I can have this ready for Friday morning and deliver it to the palace myself. That would be wonderful. My thanks, Sir Emil. Is it alright if I pay now and take the proof of payment to Her Majesty? It's no problem at all. Let me ring you up. She pulls out her purse and hands me the required amounts, and I pass her the receipt soon after, once I finish putting in the total. After looking it over and confirming everything on it, Lady Marjorie pulls out a gate pass as she offers me another courtesy. Here, you may use this to gain entry to the palace for your delivery. I will inform Her Majesty of your arrival this Friday morning as soon as I return to the palace. I bid you a good day. I like how they made the model do the curtsies. She vanishes soon after that, leaving not a single trace behind. Take care. How does she do that? Butt mad. Ah! I could answer that if you'd like. Jesus fucking Christ, Marjorie. Get out of my roof. No thank you, Lady Marjorie. I'd hate to keep you any longer. She gives me a quick nod, then vanishes once more. As soon as she's gone, Prince Zeke, who's hiding off to the side this whole time, slides back to his seat and sighs. I wish he'd stop doing that. He takes one last sip of coffee before offering me a bow of his own. It's about time I head off as well. Take care, Emil. As I watch him strut out of the bakery, I lean against the counter and shake my head. It's never a dull moment when someone from the palace drops by. The Fey Royals, though. I wonder what they're like. Yeah, I wonder, even though I met one of them. What time is it? I find myself suddenly awake in the middle of the night. Slowly getting up from bed, I look at the clock reference on the wall! Sorry. I think that's a clock rep, though. And see that it's well before I'm supposed to be up. Too awake to go back to sleep immediately. Maybe some tea will help. I let out a big yawn, and slowly get out of bed and shuffle my way downstairs to the kitchen. Feeling my way around the dark, my eyes slowly start to adjust to my surroundings, and I manage to make it to the counter. Just as I'm about to turn on the kettle, I see a silhouette sitting in the field outside. Who the heck's out there so late? Wait, that figure. I decide to step outside, feeling the cool breeze of the night blow by me, as I walk over to a certain someone who's staring up into the night sky with a thoughtful look on his face. Good evening. Oh, Emil. Good evening. What are you doing up at this hour? Wait, does he remember me from the other route, or... Oh, I guess he does. I guess it is a continuation. Okay. Yeah, I love the art style. I think it's really cute. No, he's a fae, bro. He's a fae. Don't worry. I suddenly got woken up and was thinking of how to make myself tired again when I saw you out here. What are you up to? He stares back at the night sky. Thinking to myself. I get a lot of thinking done when I stare up at the stars. It's very calming. He then looks back at me as he motions to the space next to him on the log he's sitting on. If you'd like, you could sit with me until you're tired again. That sounds nice. I'll take you up on that offer. He's a fae, bro. He's a fae. It's literally what he is. He's a fae! He scooches over a bit to give me more space, and I get comfortable next to him. He could be a tiefling. Kind of reminds me of a tiefling, if I'm being honest. But obviously no, like, colored skin. What were you thinking about? A few things, but... He lets out a little sigh, then continues. Right now, I was mostly thinking of home. This is the first time I've ever traveled from the Fae capital, and while it has been interesting, I am feeling a bit homesick. It probably sounds odd. I shake my head. Well, I don't know if he's also a tiefling. I just think I just know he is a fae, and his design kind of reminds me of a tiefling, but with no tail, I guess. But he's got the horns, he's got some spiked ears, he's got some green eyes, but he doesn't have, like, a colored skin, like a tiefling usually does. Stop calling him the demon. Not at all. I know how you feel. To tell you the truth, I'm not from the capital. I only started living here with my aunt when I was around 10 years old. I admittedly didn't move here of my own volition, so I was really homesick at the start. I'd sometimes have days where I just stare out into the distance, wishing I could go back. But the people I've met here have all helped this place truly feel like home. Now it's my turn to stare up into the night sky as the sight of all the stars shining amid that darkness makes me feel at ease. There's still a part of me that wants to go back and see what it's like there now, though. I sigh and then turn my attention back to Damon as I give him a big smile. I'd be more than happy to help you in the same way, if you'd like, to make this place feel like a home away from home. Damon lets out a soft chuckle at this, and he gives me a smile of his own. I like the sound of that. Admittedly, I don't know what people do here in the capital. Perhaps you could recommend something. Sure, let me think. There's this really homey restaurant near the big fountain in the center. It's run by this nice old couple who love to hear about where people are visiting from. Oh, and there's actually a part near the western wall where you can see the Queen's flower garden really clearly. Right now is around the time when it'd be in full bloom. Damon stares at me thoughtfully, a tender smile appearing on his face while he listens to me. I see. That does sound nice. I'll be sure to make some time and check those out while I'm here. He averts his gaze for a brief moment, presumably thinking to himself, before he looks back at me. If you were ever to visit the Fae capital, I'd be more than happy to show you around. Listening to the Fae who visited from the capital talk about it has made me a bit curious. So sure, I'll hold you to it. Good. I promise you won't be disappointed. There's this little bookstore that's absolutely jam-packed. Just about every book under the sun. It has a similar air to your shop in a way. Hi, Starry Sky. I hope you feel better soon. Damn, being sick sucks. He's lying from hell. Stop, Pngtuber. He's a fae. He's a fairy. Can't you tell? And just outside the city is a cliff where you can see. Oh wait, wait, what? He's. Ginger said he's a fairy, all right. Okay, he's a gay fae. There's nothing wrong with that. I hope he's gay. Otherwise, what the hell am I doing flirting with this guy? And just outside the city is a cliff where you can see for miles off into the distance. I silently listen to Damon go on, taking in everything as he rambles about the capital with a bright expression on his face. As it goes on, I find myself feeling more relaxed. With the low rumble of his voice and the breeze gently blowing by, my eyes start to feel heavier. Another CG for the bank? Going in the spank bank. Sorry, what? Homework folder. That sounds really nice. A meal? Me. I suppose it is rather late. Let's get you to bed. Hey, Killer Cat Black, what you looking at? Thank you for keeping me company, Emil. Maybe this visit won't be so bad, if you're here to help me feel comfortable. Good night, Emil. Sweet dreams. Man, what's up with the green, man? What are you, the Joker? The week flies by and Friday's finally here. Along with my usual morning prep, I make the Queen's order. After flipping the open sign and locking the store, I walk down the capital streets towards the palace. Around this time of day, there's not too much going on in the city, as the only ones up this early are the shopkeepers getting everything ready. Good morning, Emil. Good morning. Good luck with work today. After walking through the streets, taking in the sights and sounds as I do, I eventually end up at the palace gates where a couple of guards are diligently keeping watch. Halt! Oh, it's you, Emil. Here for another delivery. That I am. Here's my entry pass for today. I pull out the pass Lady Marjorie gave me earlier this week, and the guards look it over carefully together. After a thorough examination, they give each a nod and hand the pass back to me. Everything seems good. You can head right inside. One of the guards goes over to the wall and rings the bell hanging on it, signaling to the one stationed inside to open the gates. Soon after, they start to slowly open, and the two guards return to their stations and offer me polite bows. Thank you. Take care. I walk through the gates and head into the castle. Once I'm inside, another guard escorts me to the Queen's chamber. It's an elegant yet cozy room, decorated with ornate fabrics and gold accents throughout. A large bed sits near the western wall, with several portraits of the Queen hanging on the walls near it. Near the large windows that lead to the balcony overseeing the Queen's flower garden, sits Queen Robertina and Lady Marjorie, enjoying some morning tea. I was wondering who could be this early in the day. A good morning to you, my dear Emil. I give her a low, polite bow. I greet the benevolent moon of our kingdom. Sorry, repeat that. I greet the benevolent moon of our kingdom. Okay, chill out. This is a grandma and she's your queen, man. The queen lets out a chuckle as she gets up from her seat. Always so polite you are. I presume you've brought what I've ordered from you. That I did. I hand the basket I'm carrying to the guard next to me, and after they check inside, they give it to Lady Marjorie with a nod. She takes the time to pull everything out, carefully examining them herself, while Her Highness watches with a smile. Emil, everything you make continues to look so scrumptious. Whatever would I do without you, my dear? Did you happen to add any new flavors by chance? Yes, Your Highness. A select few of the macarons were made with the pistachios you so graciously gave me access to not long ago. I'm always happy to try experimenting with any other ingredients you happen upon. Despite the fan covering her face, I can see a smile reaching her eyes. I appreciate just how bright you are. If you're not busy, I'd love to invite you to my little tea party. The girls always rave about how good your treats are anytime I have them available. Thank you for the kind offer, Your Highness, but I have a prior engagement with Captain Mayer. However, should I have the time in the future, I'd be more than happy to attend one of your tea parties. She huffs out a sigh. Oh, fine. Suppose I'll have to let you go this time. Give your aunt my regards, dear Emil. Of course. Thank you again for your order. Damn, bro. Bro is not interested in grandmas. With another bow, I'm escorted out of Queen Robertina's chambers into the hall once more. No MILFs for me, bro. Captain Mayer is in a meeting right now, but I can take you to the library beside the study so you can wait until she's done. Oh, alright, that sounds good to me. Guess I can kill some time there for a bit. We start to make our way towards the palace library, but as soon as we turn the corner, we bump into a certain someone. Oh, the prince. Oh, Emil. Oh, good day to you, Your Highness. Just as I start to offer him a polite bow, he interrupts me. Come now, no need to be so polite. I'd forgotten you were visiting today, to deliver Mother's order. Is there anything I can do to make your visit better? Perhaps I could escort you. Thank you, Your Highness, but that's not necessary. I'm on my way to wait for the Captain Mayer right now. Then you'll certainly be headed to the palace library to do some perusing while you wait. I'd be more than happy to accompany you there. Thank you again, but I'd hate to distract you. Damn, bro hates Zeke Heart, dude. What? You do, after all, have lessons around this time, don't you? Zeke blinks at me for a moment before his shoulders slump over with a sad sigh. Yes, you are unfortunately right. Very well, I'll let you be on your way then. But if you're still here by the time my lessons are over, then I insist on giving you a tour of the palace. Of course. Take care, Your Highness. He offers me a deep bow and continues down the hallway. Once he's out of earshot, I let out a sigh. Like mother, like son, I suppose. Bo's really against marrying the prince. After a bit of walking, we finally make it to the palace library. The sheer amount of literature on display around me always manages to make me feel so small, as the bookshelves lining the walls loom over me. I'll inform you once Captain Mayer is done with her meeting. Until then, you're free to look around. Thank you very much. We give each other a nod as they head back to the doors. Meanwhile, I take my time and look around on all the books, deciding what to read. As I'm walking around, carefully perusing every title bit by bit, I stumble upon a book on the shelf that makes me chuckle. The Baker of Fairyland. Makes sense, I suppose, but it's funny to see a children's book in the palace library of all places. I gently take it off the shelf and flip through it with a happy sigh. Even after all these years, this book doesn't fail to make me feel warm and cozy. Once I finish flipping through it, I put it back on the shelf and continue looking around for more things to read. I end my search in front of several books about the different Fae races, bringing to mind a certain newcomer to the bakery. Oh yeah, I've never seen a Fae like them before. Wonder if I can learn what kind they are. Asking them outright would probably be a bit rude, but I hope looking through a book is alright. Pull out one of the large tomes from the wall and start to leaf through it, reading through all the entries about the different Fae races. None of the lesser Fae have horns like him. No wyverns. No, wyverns don't have human forms. He's just horny. Is there a chance he's one of the high Fae? I've never seen one before, so maybe. Continue flipping through the tome until a section in the latter half catches my eye. Of the various kinds of high Fae, the rarest of them all are the dragons. The dragons are one of the oldest races in the Fae Kingdom, and are said to even have the ability to control the weather with their emotions. They are also one of the few Fae to have both beast and human forms, although they will always have their horns visible in the latter. Always have their horns visible, I close my eyes and think about Damon, clearly remembering the pair of large horns on his head that shimmered an iridescent green under the light. He's horny. I wonder. Sir Emile. Interrupting my train of thought is the guard from earlier, who's calling me from the main doors of the library. Captain Mayer has finished her meeting. I can escort you inside the study now. Oh, of course, I'll be right there. He's a dragon, Fae. Chat. Close the book I was reading and place it back on the shelf, taking hasty steps towards the guard as to not keep them waiting. Right this way. You're really stuck on this. I follow after them into the study next door. It's a decently sized space, decorated sparingly with some books on battle tactics, a handful of medals, and several photos of my aunt and myself. Is this my aunt? In the middle of all this, I see a certain someone waiting for me with a smile at her desk. I thought maybe that was just a coincidence. They said hi, say hi to my aunt for you. It's good to see you, Emile. Oh my god, my aunt is a badass. Aunt Agnes. She gives me a big hug, lifting me off my feet a little in the process, then ruffles my hair. You don't know how much you've improved my day just by dropping by, kiddo. That boring as hell meeting would have gone on for longer if I didn't use you as an excuse to leave early. Aunt. Don't give me that look. I know for a fact that you use me to avoid a certain royal duo, am I wrong? More like baddie? It's auntie. Bro, that's my aunt! I can't help but let out an embarrassed chuckle, hugging my aunt once more before we go over to her desk. I mean, you're not wrong, but... As we both get comfortable in our seats, I take out the other box of baked goods I brought along, placing them in front of my aunt, who looks more than ready to stuff her face full. I was wondering if you brought something for me. I assume you had some sort of order to deliver again? That's right. It's my aunt, bro! You can't flirt with my aunt in front of me, I'm gonna beat your butt. I tell my aunt about the Queen's latest order, while she starts to prepare some tea to go along with the baked goods. As soon as I finish, she gives a deep chuckle. I can look. No, you can't! Close your eyes. Just listen. I'm still so impressed by how well you're doing with that little bakery of yours. How's the shop been doing, by the way? My men haven't been bothering you with their visits, have they? Not at all. I'm always happy to see them visiting. It's a shame you're always so busy and can't drop by more often, though. You know how things are at the palace. Times are peaceful, but that doesn't mean we can slack off on our regular training. Although, I should try to see if I can't sneak off for a visit like some of my men like to. We both laugh, and Aunt Agnes grabs a pair of teacups for the two of us. Black tea's fine, right? Sure, sounds good to me. She pulls out a couple bags of tea, then pours the freshly boiled water into each cup, setting back down as she brings her attention back to me. It really feels like just yesterday you first started living in the capital. I still remember the morning I was suddenly called to the front gate because a little kid, all in their lonesome, was looking for me. You only had the clothes on your back, some coins, and your mother's old fishing rod. And look at you now, 15 years later, and you're all grown up with your own shop. I feel a blush light up my cheeks as I avert my gaze. Aunt Agnes. What? It's just the two of us in here, so I can tease my dear nephew all I want. With a deep chuckle, she continues. I do mean it, though. Seeing just how much you've accomplished these past few years makes me proud to be your aunt. I'm sure your parents would be just as proud, if not more so, if they were around to see this. Yeah. The mood becomes a bit somber as we sit in silence for a moment before I speak up. I sometimes find myself wondering what my parents would think if they were here today. If they saw me. I glance at my reflection in the window with a sigh. Do you think they would accept me, the way I've changed since then? Emile. I look back at my aunt, who's giving me a tender smile. Knowing the kind of people your parents were, I can absolutely guarantee they would wholeheartedly accept you as you are right now. Glances over at the cabinet near the window, smiling softly at a certain framed photo sitting on top of it. And that photo, as if frozen in time, is my younger self with my mom and dad. Is my dad Franz Ferdinand? Did he die and cause World War II? Is that what's going on? We took that photo together one day on a whim, and I'm thankful we did, since it's one of the only things I have left to remember them by, but very handsome family. I turned back to my aunt, noticing her eyes looking a little hazy. My sister was always a stubborn one. I'm certain that if she saw you right now, she'd smack that self-doubt right out of you. And that old man of yours was something as well, all right. There'll never be another person like him in the entire world. Do you remember what he'd call you every time he brought you up? No matter if it was to myself, the other soldiers, or even to the king himself. My child. She nods. That's right, my child. No matter what, he'd always have that giant smile on his face as he would go on about you. My child this, my child that. I was expecting something a little more weird or cute. My child is what I would expect someone to refer to as their child. Yeah. That's why I'm certain that if he was still around today, and he saw how you've changed in the past decade, he'd still give you that same smile and call you my child, just as he always did. That's pretty tame. I mean, I thought it was gonna be like, you, my freaking goober ball or something like that. Something cute, you know? My little goober. My little goober gooner boy or some shit. I don't know. My child. That's pretty standard. You know, the king asks you, what about your kid? Oh, well, my child's pretty great. That's normal, I think. I feel my eyes start to get misty, rubbing them together to stop myself from crying, but to no avail. My little roach baby, yeah. I really miss them. I miss them too, kiddo. Give me here. Aunt Agnes gets up from her seat and pulls me into another deep hug, gently stroking my hair as I sob into her shoulder. Oh man, in her metal shoulder? This is not a comfortable cuddle. After a brief moment, I can feel the tears finally stop flooding my eyes, then look back up at her. Sorry about that. Hey, don't sweat it, kiddo. It's good to let it out every now and again. She ruffles my hair again, sits back down, and then follows suit, taking a sip of my tea in the process. Thinking about them again makes me remember just how fascinating your parents were. They were such an odd combo, and yet that's exactly what made them so interesting. A Navy captain and a fishmonger. What a unique pair. This gets a laugh out of me. Honestly, they were weird ones for sure. What's weird about it? He was a ship captain. You know, he's on the water all the time. Fishmonger. She loves the smell of fishy men. Fishy men. He loves the smell of salty seas. Haha, weird is a way to put it, true. I do wonder, however, if it'll run in the family and you'll also end up in an interesting relationship like theirs. I avert my gaze, another blush appearing on my cheeks, and I see my aunt giving me a playful smirk in the corner of my vision. Auntie, what do you mean? It's 4 a.m. William ate your homework. You should probably go to sleep, okay? You should probably go to sleep. You probably shouldn't have been watching in the first place. Get out of here. Watch the VOD on YouTube. Oh, this isn't your usual response? Has little Emile finally found someone he's interested in, perchance? You can't just say that. Well, you're just imagining things. Emile. I try my best to come up with some sort of response, but only manage to let out a defeated huff. It's not even anything. There's a newcomer at the bakery. I just think they're kind of attractive, that's all. Attractive? Huh. I give her a strong pout, which causes her to holler out a laughter. Auntie. Alright, I'll stop teasing you. She lets out a happy sigh before continuing. Teasing aside, I do hope you eventually find someone you truly love in the future, Emil. It'd make me and your parents happy to know that you have someone you consider dear to your heart. What's going on? I'm visiting my aunt who's like a captain in the army. And also I gave some cookies to the queen because I'm based like that. I appreciate it. Thanks. We continue enjoying our tea and snacks before Aunt Agnes glances at the clock nearby. Oh my god, that's a clock reference. Oh, time's certainly flown by, hasn't it? Didn't even realize how late it was getting. I didn't keep you too long, did I? It's all good. I closed the shop so I can hang out with you. And I'm glad you did. On my next day off, I'll be sure to visit the bakery, alright? Of course. You're always free to drop by any time. I'll make sure to have some fresh lemon cookies ready for you when you do. Haha, I appreciate it. We both get up from our seats and my aunt ruffles my hair one last time. You take care now, alright? Don't work too hard over there. I could say the same to you, but alright, I will. We share another deep hug before she calls for a guard to help escort me out of the palace again. The door to the study closes behind me and I can take my leave back towards the bakery I call home. It's another normal day. This is a bit of a lull in people visiting the bakery, so I'm using that time to organize things a bit near the front. While I'm wiping down the glass for the display, I hear the bell ring and turn around to see Damon walk into the shop. Hello there, handsome. Good day, Emil. Good day. See, you finally decided to visit at a normal hour. He chuckles a little before giving me a smug smirk. And I see you've gotten quite comfortable around me if you can tease me like that. I let out a laugh at his remark. Teasing aside, I'm glad you decided to stop by some more. You're basically a regular now. Feel free to sit anywhere you like and look through the menu. Gives me a nod and picks a seat near the windows. After getting comfortable, he leans against the table and looks at me. You truly are one of the most interesting humans I've met, Emil. I'll take that as a compliment. And I'd say you're pretty interesting yourself. It's the first time I've met a Fae like you. You do seem to be quite familiar with us Fae, compared to most humans at least. I pause my cleaning and lean on the counter to give him my full attention. Well, I get a fair amount of Fae customers. And the Fae in general are honestly pretty interesting, so I always try to learn as much about them as I can. I see. Then I am to assume you also want to learn more about me. That smug smirk of his feels like it's testing me, as I get a little flustered. You could say that, yes. My embarrassed response gets a louder laugh out of Damon this time. My apologies for teasing you. I just couldn't resist. I am glad, though, that you want to learn more about me. The feeling is mutual. He thinks to himself for a moment before continuing. How's about this? Why don't we have a little fun and you try to guess what kind of Fae I am? Surely, after all our encounters so far, you have a general idea. You just want to tease me again, don't you? Perhaps. What say you? What do you suppose I am? A gecko or a dragon? Oh no, man. Okay, I wanna call him out. No, I'm gonna call him a gecko. You're a gecko. That's for teasing me. If I were to guess, I'd say you were some sort of magical gecko. He blinks at me before letting in a laugh so loud he has to brace himself against the table. I see you opted to take revenge on me. Well played. If you can have fun, so can I. I suppose I shouldn't underestimate you, then. After letting out another quick laugh, he turns his attention back to me. Based on your little joke, though, it seems like you have a vague idea of what I could be. I guess, but I'm not super confident. But, would you happen to be a dragon? Gives me a nod and a smile. You are correct. I am quite curious, however. If you were so interested in learning what I am, why didn't you simply ask? I sheepishly avert my gaze as I feel my cheeks lighting up again. Yeah, well, I figured that'd be kind of rude, so I opted not to. How considerate of you. Stop biting your lip! Both share a laugh together as Damon continues looking through the menu. Having trouble choosing? A little. Might sound strange since I'm in a bakery right now, but I'm admittedly not the biggest fan of sweets. That's not a problem at all. There's more in my shop than just sweets, so I'd be more than happy to help you find something that suits your palate. I appreciate it. Thank you. Actually, now that I think about it, I suppose there is one type of sweet that I'm fond of. Eclairs. They were always just the right amount of sweetness for me. I blink at him for a moment before a laugh escapes from me. What's so funny? I wasn't expecting that answer, to be honest, because eclairs are also my favorite. Wow! Bro, we both love getting stuffed with cream! Oh, hi there, the horny police. Wow, what great timing. Please, lock me up. Eclairs are really good. Sorry, that's... Hey, what's up? No! Ah! Ow. Rude. I am not the biggest fan of eclairs. If you don't know what an eclair is, it is a... Actually, in Canada, sometimes they call them long johns. Basically, it's like a donut that's long. It's like a long oval shape, and they cut it in half, and then they fill it with whipped cream, and then the top, sometimes, most of the time, it has like a chocolate dip on top, kind of like a chocolate dip donut or something, like a fondant or frosting on top of the eclair, on the top half of the donut, and then it's filled with whipped cream. Filled with cream. We both love things filled with cream. I'm gonna cream pie him. That's enough evidence for me. No! You can't get me! I'm gonna continue! Now it's Damon's turn to stare at me blankly before erupting into another laugh. That is an interesting coincidence. I'm surprised you don't have more in stock then. But do you keep them hidden for yourself? Guilty. I'll be sure to keep them in stock more often while you're here, though. Glad to hear that. For now, though, I think I'll take a turkey sandwich and some black tea. Oh, a turkey sandwich is good, with bacon, too? Sure thing. Let me get that for you. The rest of the day passes by peacefully as Damon and I chat with each other in between my baking and serving the other customers that visit the shop. After he goes on his way, I write down everything I need for my next grocery run, including the ingredients for the eclairs Damon requested so that I'll have them for his next visit. I'm so thoughtful. There we go, that should be enough. It's another typical day and I'm busy baking the next batch of fresh goodies for the bakery. The smell of bread rolls and loaves fills the air around me, along with the delectable sense of the sweet treats I already have on display. As I'm putting out the latest batch, I hear the bell on the door ring and see, as always, a certain someone strut in with his unusual enthusiasm. Hello, my dear Emile. Good day, your highness. Today felt like such a long, dreadfully boring day, but as soon as I saw your face, I regained all the energy I had lost earlier. It would make me even happier if you'd make time to go for a walk around the city with me. Would you like tea or coffee today? Zeke lets out a defeated sigh and then gives me a sad pout. Once again, you reject me, without even so much as a hint of hesitation. Yeah. I simply must ask, just what is it about me that you don't find attractive? Bro, I'm not gonna lie, the jacket is fire, man. I don't know, man. He's got the fit, he's looking good, okay? But I think we're just not into blonde guys. He stares at me, giving me the strongest puppy dog-eyed look he can as I chuckle in response. It's nothing personal, your highness. It's just, you're just not my type. Okay. Damn, bro. Damn. Wow, we actually hate blonde people. Wow. Damn. And not your type. He's stunned silent for a moment as he slumps forward, before bouncing back to his usual vigor. That just means I can win you over in different ways. I'm not going to give up that easily. Just you watch. I let out an embarrassed laugh in response. Never really thought about it, but what is my type? After thinking about it for a moment, Damon suddenly comes to mind. Flustered, I try to shake the thought out of my head. Yeah, he's into horny men. Are you alright, Emile? I'm fine. No worries. I laugh again, sheepishly, but then a different thought suddenly crosses my mind. This is the story of a baker falling in love. You know, your highness, I've honestly been wondering for a while now. Why do you like me so much? Zeke stares at me for a moment in silence, simply blinking at me, before a rare blush creeps across his cheeks. Well, it's a little embarrassing. Do you recall when you first visited the palace, roughly 15 years ago? think to myself for a moment, trying to recall that time. 15 years ago. That was probably the day my aunt adopted me. I believe I do. What about it? Well, on that same day, I happened to see you with Captain Mayer speaking to my father. I just felt so intrigued. He averts his gaze before continuing. Looking into the throne room and seeing another child my age standing before my father with so much conviction, it was so fascinating that I wanted to know more about you. And over time, with all your visits and you eventually opening the bakery, that intrigue has grown into, well, this crush of mine. Seeing how hard you've been working these past 15 years, while also being such a bright and gentle person, honestly speaking, anyone would easily fall for you. I now feel a blush appear in my cheeks as I listen to Zeke go on like this. That's honestly really sweet. Thank you, Zeke. You're welcome. You just called me Zeke. I heard it. So you can call me something other than Your Highness. I turn away from him, feeling his bewildered stare burning into me. I don't know what you're talking about, Your Highness. And now you're back to... You're doing this on purpose. He gives me an angry huff, thinking to himself for a moment before tilting his head at me in confusion. On that note, I have a question of my own to ask you. I won't deny that I can be, annoying at times. Real. But even still, you've never once told me off for all my flirting. Why? Oh. Caught off guard by his sudden question, taking a quick moment to think of how I want to word my answer before responding. I mean, I won't deny you can be a little annoying sometimes. But your flirting is honestly harmless, and you're always mindful of how I'm feeling so that you don't go overboard with it. So, I'm fine with it. I enjoy having you around. Gives me yet another bewildered stare, almost looking like a statue if he didn't blink every now and again. After a little time, though, a silly grin lights up his face. I see. You enjoy having me around. He puffs out his chest happily and gives me a triumphant smile. Even if you don't like me in a romantic sense, I'll consider it a success that you at least enjoy my company. I can't help but laugh at this whole exchange, and Zeke joins me with his own laughter. Once we get it all out of our system, Zeke finds himself a seat and gets comfortable, and I finally finish organizing the display. I then turn to Zeke, who's looking over the menu thoughtfully. Can't decide. Unfortunately so. You know, I'm partial to just about anything you make. Wait, I just remembered. Would you like to try something new I'm adding, then? You'd be the first to do so. Oh, that sounds interesting. Sure, I'd be more than happy to. I give him an enthusiastic nod, then go over and grab a slice of my newest addition, carrying it over with a cup of tea. Hi, Malhair. By the way, hi, Catty Boy. I don't know if I said hi. I place in front of him my newest creation, a slice of fuel? 'No idea. 3 rows of thin pastry sheets are stacked on top of each other with wisps of soft custard cream alternating between them. Adorning the top is a thin layer of vanilla icing with decorative chocolate marbling. Wow, that sounds actually amazing. Wow, that sounds so good. I'm kind of a sucker for custard. But wow. I like wafers too. / like flaky bread. Flaky stuff. This looks different. What is it? It's a mille-feuille, but it can also be called the custard slice. Oh. Mille-feuille. As he struggles with pronouncing the name, me too. Me too, bro. He looks it over curiously, delicately poking at the pastry layers with his fork. He then cuts the corner off and slides it into his mouth, and I see his face light up as he eats it. What a delightful sweetness. And as it goes so well with the black tea, the coffee would be a delightful pairing too. Everyone's sure to love this. I'm glad to hear you say that. Based. I love baked goods and CGs. That wink though. Bro, how do you deny the prince, man? The prince should just take you. What made you want to add this? Just trying something new. Kinda, but I also think that this is perfect for the people in the capital. Gives me a confused look as he tilts his head. I'm not sure what you mean by that, but these will probably do well regardless. As Zeke continues enthusiastically eating his slice, stealing sips of his tea between bites, I sigh and think to myself, a mille-feuille is a great representation of the people in the capital, and specifically everyone I've gotten the chance to meet. Dozens of individual people coming together to create a strong foundation, just like the thin layers of a mille-feuille. All the people I've come to know and love here in the capital come to mind. Aunt Agnes and the other knights, Queen Robertina and Lady Marjorie, and of course, Prince Zeekart. They all become something so wonderful when they're united, and they help this place feel like home, despite the bumpy road it took me to get here. I truly love this city now, and everyone in it. I think about a certain someone who's quickly becoming another interesting part of my life. Damon, you're such a fascinating person. I hope I can learn more about you too. The day passes on, as it usually does, as Zeke keeps me company while I work until he returns to the palace. A new menu item has been added to the bakery. Perhaps now a certain someone will visit more. The Goblin! I get to romance the Goblin! Yo, base. Go. Okay, third route. Third secret romance route, bro. We run. The Eclairs. Oh my god, chat. Oh my god. The Goblin. Accountant. That's his favorite. And mine, too. Oh. And I guess Damon's, too. Eclairs. Go. Some time has passed, and the capital has gotten used to all the new visitors coming and going due to the Fey Royals' visits. Merchants seeing an opportunity to sell their wares to more eyes, Fey who were feeling uncomfortable in the crowded city because of their kin. I've seen lots of unfamiliar faces in these parts. Of course, one of them being a certain dragon who is now regular at the shop, and is watching me make my next batch of baked goods earnestly. And there. Now I just have to let the dough rest for a bit. That was fast. You made that look so easy. I mean, I have been doing this for a long time. I clean my hands and pat the bits of flour off of my apron, putting aside the batch I just finished to make room for the next one. What about you? Have you ever tried to make something like this before? Not really. I've only ever watched the staff at the the bakers back at home work from time to time when I was little. Aha. I've always had my food made for me, so I've never had the chance to do any real kitchen work. I've wanted to practice a little, though. Well, if that's the case, would you like to come in here and try your hand at it? Damon perks up upon hearing that, as his eyes shine with excitement. Is it all right? Sure it is. Here, come on in and I'll walk you through it. Wash your goddamn hands. I walk over and open the way into the kitchen, and he follows after me with eager steps. While he's putting away his cloak and washing his hands, based! Okay, wait, actually based? What the hell? I look through the closet for an apron he can borrow. I guess this one will have to do. Here, Damon. I walk over and put the apron on him, and he looks over it carefully. Clock, do you want to be added to my Tomodachi Island? Tomodachi Island. Is this like the equivalent of putting me in a jar? This is a very important question. Is this like the equivalent of when people ask if I want to be inside a jar, or is this like cute and cuddly and like normal? Not the jar. Killer Cat Black says not the jar. It's a jar but with friends. Women friends? Yeah! Okay, I'm good. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, you can put me in that jar. I walk over and put the apron on him, and he looks it over carefully. You're a bit taller than me, so I hope this is all right. He chuckles a little, then ties the strings in the back to keep the apron steady. Okay, what a cutie. This is perfectly fine by me. Thank you. Now, what would you like me to do first? I pull out a container with a different batch of dough I had made earlier, spreading some flour on the counter before dumping it on top. Gooner? No. Simp? Yes. I was just about to work on this batch of bread rolls, so why don't you help me knead and separate it? Okay, chat, I'm not gross about it. I'm respectful. I'm a respectful, helpful simp, okay? But I don't goon like that. That would be disrespectful. I'm a gentleman first. He gives me an eager nod, then rolls up his sleeves and stands next to me by the counter. I cut the dough in half and set it in front of us, sprinkling some flour on top before covering my hands once again. We first need to knead it until it's a smooth consistency. Alright. With a little huff, he grabs the dough and starts to knead it. Or at least he tries to. As soon as his hands touch the dough, they immediately stick to the entire lump. He tries shaking it off back onto the counter, but a large portion of it stays stuck to his palms. His face scrunches in frustration, and I fail at holding back a laugh. Don't laugh at me. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be mean, I promise. This is my fault. I forgot to tell you to put some flour on your hands first. Here, let me help you get that off. Yeah, you're gonna need that flour. CG already! Look, we're holding his hands! Oh, I'm so much shorter than he is. No, I'm so much shorter, bro. Okay. I gently take his hands and start to pull the dough off of them. You don't have to feel embarrassed, by the way. Everyone makes this mistake at least once. I did as well. I'm not short. He's just tall. Did you really? Yup. I remember this one time I was helping my mom. She told me to put more pressure on the dough, so I did, and it ended up splattering all over the kitchen. That's some watery dough. Now Damon's the one laughing as all of his earlier bashfulness fades away. It must have been such a mess to clean up. You've been doing this kind of work for a really long time, haven't you? I have, yes. I helped my mom when I was a kid, and even before I opened the bakery, I was working as a baker at a restaurant in the city. It can be hard at times, but seeing everyone enjoy all the things I've made makes it all worth it. As I finish getting all the dough off of Damon's hands, I realize how they're much bigger than mine. Unlike my dry, overworked ones, his feel so soft and tender. But he's a guard, right? Quickly realize what I'm doing and look up at Damon. His face completely red as he bashfully averts his gaze. Feeling my face light up at the same shade, I release his hands. Sorry about that. It's alright. After a brief, awkward silence, he turns back to look at me. You said I had to cover my hands in flour first, right? Yes, I did. Here, let me help. I grab a fistful of flour and then sprinkle it into his hands. He spreads it evenly across his palms and fingers. He then tries again, grabbing the dough and starting to knead it. This time it doesn't stick, and he looks at me excitedly. It worked! See, now gently knead it until the surface is smooth. Here, follow my lead. I start to knead the lump of dough in front of me, and after watching how I do it, Damon follows suit. He slowly and cautiously copies what I'm doing, his face reflecting how deep in concentration he is, and soon enough the consistency of both halves is perfect. That was easier than you thought, huh? It was. I was worried I'd put too much pressure on it, but thankfully I didn't. I then grabbed the dough scraper, covered the blade with some flour, and split my half into 6 even pieces. I hand it over to Damon, who cautiously takes it, and follow my lead by splitting his half into 6 almost even lumps. Could you grab the bread pan? It's the deep one in the second shelf. He nods, then starts to go look through it. Meanwhile, I grab the butter and a basting brush to get ready for the next step. Bread making. Once he pulls out the pan and puts it on the counter, I spread some butter along the inside, then we line up the divided dough one by one. All that's left is to brush the dough with butter and put these in the oven to bake. So, what'd you think? As Damon's washing his hands, he turns to look at me with a smile. Despite the hiccups, that was honestly kind of fun. Thank you for letting me try, Emil. Hey, you're welcome. If there's anything you ever want to learn from me, I'd be more than happy to teach you. His smile gets even brighter, with a soft blush on his cheeks complimenting it. I'll keep that in mind. And, well, I'd be happy to do the same for you, if there's anything I could do for you. I feel a blush appear on my face now as I give him a sheepish nod. Yeah, you can just let me live with you. I'll just be your, incubus or something. I don't know, I guess. The rest of the day passes by, with Damon continuing to watch me with work earnestly. He stayed the whole day? What a simp. The week goes by normally, as it always does, and on another usual day, I find myself inside the palace once again. Chat, bread really is the way to a man's heart, okay? I just finished delivering another batch of baked goods to Her Highness, and am now wandering around the palace library to pass the time. Aunt Agnes is busy training the knights right now, so instead of waiting for her to be done, I decide to read for a bit before heading back to the bakery. As I'm walking around, I spot a certain face sitting by himself with a mountain of books beside him. Damon! Oh, Emil. His face lights up upon hearing my voice, which had just prior been scrunched up in frustration at the heavy tome in his hands. I'm surprised to see you here. Likewise. I suppose, members of the Fey Royal Procession are allowed access to the palace library, huh? Yes. I was allowed to flip through the books in here while we're visiting, since I can use this as an excuse to continue my studies. I see. He briefly averts his gaze before continuing with another smile. If you're not too busy, would you like to sit with me for a while? I needed to take a break anyways. Sure, that sounds nice. I take a seat next to him and move over the pile of books that's in front of me, noticing that most of it is from the history section. I'm just gonna... I feel like it's just a little loud, right? Okay. Are you studying up on history right now? Damon lets out a deep sigh. Yes. I need to familiarize myself with both kingdoms' histories more, but history is, unfortunately, my worst subject. Every other topic, whether it's geography, agriculture, or even economics, I have no problem with, but there's just something about history that I have the worst time comprehending. Remembering all the dates and details is just so hard. He sighs again and slumps over onto the desk, and I gently pat him on the back. There, there. I know what it's like to have hard things. I'm hard. I'm admittedly not super knowledgeable about the subject, but maybe I could at least recommend you some books that might make it easier for you. Could you really do that? Sure, I visit here enough to know where everything is. I look at the pile of books I pushed away, then let out a sheepish chuckle. Yeah, you picked all of the hard books. Why don't we start off with a specific time period? That sounds good. Then perhaps the Founding Era would be a good place to start. Of course! I can think of some books about that era that are a really good starting point. Let's go get them while we put these back. Damon nods at me, and the two of us split the pile of books to carry them back to their shelf. Damon's chunk noticeably larger than mine. Are you sure that's not too heavy? I don't mind taking a couple more. I'm alright. This is nothing. I could even carry both the books and you and I and still be fine. Wow. This gets a chuckle out of me as we reach the bookshelf and start putting the pile away. I hear the library doors swing open. Emile! Emile! I heard that you were in here, and I have a break from my lessons, so I hope you don't mind if I... He stops in place a ways away from us, his cheery expression turning into a face of pure confusion as his eyes dart back and forth between me and Damon. We're gonna start a war. We're gonna start a war. Literally, they're gonna be so jealous of each other, they're gonna start a war. Oh, good day, Your Highness. Good day. So, what are you doing with, Damon and I were just putting these books back before I help him find some other material to study with. Zeke's expression becomes even more shocked after my explanation. Damon? Why does he get to be called Damon? Well, I don't get to be called Zeke. As I try to respond, I suddenly hear Damon chuckle next to me. That's so mean, man. It's because I don't know, bro. I don't know yet. I don't know. Well, I didn't think the regal Prince von Celius could get so easily jealous like this. And if you didn't notice, Emile happens to be busy helping me. So why don't you go off and play somewhere else instead? Oh! Well, excuse you? I've known him far longer than you have. So I think you should go back to your studying and let me chat with him for a moment. Knowing them for so long, and yet they don't refer to you by first name in your presence. Zeke's face slowly gets redder as he continues to shoot Damon the strongest glare he can. You reclusive, oversized lizard. Loud-mouthed, air-headed brat. I find myself stuck between the two of them as they relentlessly sling insults back and forth at one another. Please settle down. As I struggle to get these two to notice my attempts to mediate, the doors to the library swing open again and my aunt struts inside. Emile! I heard you were in here, so I stopped training early to see you. I'm popular. She stops in place and simply stares at the quarrel that's happening between Zeke and Damon. Nope, this is your problem now, kiddo. Bye. What the hell? Aunt Agnes, come back! I rush over and hold on to her tightly, struggling to drag her back in as she attempts to leave. Aunt Agnes, you've got to help me deal with this. I'm suddenly regretting all those sparring sessions I let you join. Emile, let go. No. No. After a little back and forth, my aunt finally gives in with a sigh as she shakes her head. Fine. Prince Zekart, isn't it about time you headed back to your lessons? Zeke was just rearing back to deliver another scathing insult, but my aunt's words managed to interrupt him. And you... wait, what? Ah, damn it, I do. I'll see you next time. I'll write to Mew. Of course. Take care, Your Highness. Dude, the smile on David's big smile on Zeke getting the fucking sad face, man. I'm dying. That was pretty funny, I won't lie.
Not.
Okay, I'm doing a little stretch check. You guys should do a little stretch check, okay? Maybe a little sip of water. Take it easy, you know? Okay. Damon chuckles one more time as Zeke marches out of the library with one final glare. Damon, my apologies. I let out a sigh now that this is all over, as I walk back to Damon and help him finish putting the books back. I'm gonna go talk with my aunt for a bit before I head back to the bakery. Sorry I can't stay and help you out some more, but if you start with the books in Section A2, you should have a much easier time with this. Damon pouts at me and sighs. Alright, I suppose I'll see you. I'll see you then. Of course, if you have time later, come swing by the bakery. Gives me a nod and starts browsing the section of books I mentioned to him. Nice. My aunt and I head back to her study. As soon as we're inside, she closes the door with an incredibly smug smirk. You have so much to explain after everything I just saw. Aunt Agnes. Don't Aunt Agnes me. I walk into the library to see my dear nephew and suddenly find him stuck between a mudslinging contest. I knew you were close with Prince Zeke, but I had no idea you also knew them. She thinks for a moment, then continues with that same smug expression on her face. Wait, the timing. Is he the one you were talking about before? The one you said was attractive? I feel my face get redder as I quickly turn my head away. My reaction just makes my aunt let out a deep laugh, however. Life certainly isn't dull for you now, is it? After she gets all out of her system, she gives me a partially concerned look. With him, though, you're aware of everything, right? Of course. That's good. She happily nods, then sits down at her desk with another bright smile. I am not, by the way, aware. Now sit down and tell me everything. Spare no details. Do I have to? Yes, you do. Now sit your ass down, young man. Alright. Spill the tea. With a sheepish chuckle, I sit down across from her and spend the rest of my day recounting all of my experiences with Damon thus far. Is my grandma going to pick up on the fact that I don't know who he actually is? Books, spare bag. Oh, can't forget the scones they wanted. My next day off arrives, and since the weather is so nice today, I decided I'll visit Thistle and Undine in the Grove. I set aside some time to make a bunch of snacks to bring along with me, an assortment of sandwiches, some small fruit tarts, and of course the scones Thistle brought up last time. After triple checking that I have everything I need, I lock up the store and start to head out, but not before a certain someone appears before me. Oh, Emil. Oh, good day, Damon. He looks at the door and at the basket I'm carrying with intrigue. I didn't know you had plans today. My apologies. Are you visiting your aunt again? Nope, not today. I'm actually planning to head into the grove nearby to visit some nymphs I'm friends with. So you're also friends with nymphs. I'm somehow not surprised. Come on now. As I give him an embarrassed laugh, I remember how I felt during the picnic we had. Would you like to come with me? Pardon. You mean to meet your nymph friends? He averts his gaze from me. I don't know. People tend to feel a bit intimidated around me. And I hate to feel like I'm barging in on your time with them. It's alright, don't worry about it. They rarely get visitors, so even though they might be a little skittish at first, I'm certain they'll end up enjoying your company. Damon gives me a tender smile in response. If you're sure, then I suppose I'll tag along. Great, then follow me. Damon then walks beside me as I continue my way towards the grove. We walk my usual route there, through the fields outside of the capital, chatting with each other the whole way. It's honestly impressive you're so close with fae like nymphs. They tend to be very wary of others. Oh, for sure. It took them quite a while to warm up to me, but I'm glad I took the time to do so. They're some of my closest friends now. They've actually been helping me out with the shop a little as well. Oh, how so? Well, I really wanted to experiment with edible flowers, like making sweets with them, but they tend to be outside of my budget. And when I tried growing them myself, they didn't turn out right. But then Thistle and Undine offered to try their hands at it, and they came out perfectly. Damon quietly listens to me ramble, with a tender expression on his face. I see. Yeah, I'm using my friends. Yep. After a bit more walking, we finally make it to the heart of the forest. The sunlight gently shines through the leaves in the trees, and the spring breeze carries the scents of all the plants growing around the pond. I let out a happy sigh and then call out into the grove. Thistle, Undyne. I never checked their outfits. They're just wearing dresses, but they still have nice designs. The two nymphs quickly appear before me, both with smiles lighting up their faces. Emile. They suddenly stop, however, as they stare at both me and Damon with surprised expressions. I'd like you two to meet Damon. I invited him to come along with me on this visit. Sorry for the sudden surprise guest. They looked at each other for a moment before turning back to me. Are you close with him? I look up at Damon and smile. Yes, I'd say so. I spy the shy blush Damon's trying to hide as Thistle and Undyne go back to giving me their usual bright smiles. Then I think that's perfectly fine. What about you, Dinny? Fine by me. It's nice to meet you. Undyne then gives me a smug smile and a giggle. A dragon now, huh? You continue to be so interesting, Emile. Hey now. I just hope those three will be alright, though. Emile's here. Right on cue, I hear a certain fairy fly into the grove, and Azalea slams right into me with full gusto. Oof. Be careful, Azalea. Hee, sorry. Just as she starts to cuddle up to me, she pauses, her shocked eyes locking onto Damon standing next to me. Snowdrop and Magnolia flutter into the grove soon after, with Mr. McGraw following them. Old man! Old Goblin Yaoi. Emile's gonna get an as-shaped bruise one of these days from how often she lunges at him. Honestly, that girl has too much energy sometimes. They stop in their tracks now, also with the same shocked looks on their faces, as they all stare at Damon. You're not... Understood. Everyone's eyes then turn to me, and I let out an embarrassed chuckle. See what I mean? You have a point. Hey everyone, I hope it's alright, but I invited Damon to come along with me today. I wonder what he was gonna say. Maybe he was gonna say Mom. Not Matt. No, Mom. Probably Mom. Yeah. Oh, Damon, huh? You call them Damon. Emile's powerful. The three fairies huddle together for a moment, occasionally peeking at us amidst their discussion, before looking back at us with their usual bright expressions. If you're Emile's friend, then you can hang out here all you want. Emile can be a dummy sometimes, but they're a good judge of character. Sorry if we made you feel awkward. Oi, who are you calling a dummy? Why did I become British? Oi! Oh, my cat heard me oi and got upset. My cat hates British people. Confirmed. I glance at Mr. McGraw, who's still looking a little unsure, but then sighs and nods his head with a smile of his own. You truly are fascinating, my boy. Very well, then. We all share a laugh, and I look back at Damon. See, I told you it was going to be alright. Damon lets out a chuckle of his own, his shoulders no longer appearing as stiff as they were a moment ago. Thank you again for inviting me along. We all make ourselves comfortable along the banks of the pond, sharing the snacks I brought with me as we chat about anything that comes to mind. Been visiting more often, Mr. McGraw. This grove's a lot nicer than you thought, huh? Yes, I suppose so. That picnic we had made me realize that I do need to take breaks more often, so I've decided that visiting these two is a good way to do so. Yeah, you gotta get out of all those math books sometimes, old man. Mr. McGraw lets out a deep sigh as Undyne giggles at him. I could do without the teasing, however. Yeah, he needs Yaoi. Old man, goblin Yaoi. Thistle lets out a giggle of her own as she interjects. Ronan's been kind enough to answer our questions about how things are in places further than the human capital. He even mailed out a letter for us to some friends of ours in Capital Regis. That's great. Maybe if I ever visit the Fae capital, I'll try to meet him. I look over at Damon, who has been silently listening to all of us chat away the whole time. How often does the Fae capital get visitors? Well, since we're up near the Crimson Peaks, we don't get too many visitors outside of the summer, as humans especially tend to prefer the warmer months. Not me. I'm Canadian, bitch. I'll be there all year. Yeah, it snows like crazy after the heat goes away. You'll turn into an Emile-sicle if you try to visit any other time. Okay. That was kind of funny. Snowdrop. Damon chuckles a little as he continues. I honestly think the peak of winter is the best time to visit. By then the mountains are covered in snow, and when you look at it from the capital, it's absolutely mystical. I think you'd really like it. That does sound really nice. If I ever get the chance to, I'd love to see it. Damon and I avert our gazes from each other as I start to feel my cheeks light up. Huh? Oh. Psst, Letty. Alright. Emil, could you hand me one of those scones near you? Dee can't reach it. Oh, sure. I grab one of the scones and start to get up, but as I get to my feet, I feel something snag my ankle, causing me to lose my balance. Excuse me? Wingman? Well, watch out. Thud. Wait, I've got a wingman on... Wingman! Based. I got wingmen. I close my eyes and brace myself for the impact, and when I open them once more, I find myself laying on top of a very red-faced Damon. I'm so sorry. No, it's okay. Are you hurt? I'm fine. I feel my face become just as red as his, as I hear a certain duo giggling nearby. Damon and I get back up off the ground, and I turn to give the two nymphs a strong pout. Where's our kith? Where's our kith, chat? God damn it, all that wingman work for nothing. Thistle, Undyne, what do you think you're doing? We could have gotten seriously hurt if I landed wrong. Now apologize. We're sorry. That apology didn't sound genuine at all. Damon chuckles at this as he turns and smiles at me. Don't worry, Emil. I'm alright. Besides, nymphs are known for the silly little pranks they play, so part of me was expecting this. I gasp, but don't enable them. The duo giggles even more as as everyone gets comfortable once again. Whether it's because of me asking about the capital or the little prank Thistle and Undyne pulled, Damon starts to feel more comfortable and joins in on the conversation. Our little group continues to share stories, enjoy the snacks I brought along, and just relax in each other's company in general. The fairy trio flutters around me, and as Azalea sits down on my shoulder, Damon chuckles again. That's a good one. That's a really good screen. That's the thumbnail, right? That's got to be the thumbnail, bro. Thank you again for inviting me along. I hardly ever get to do things like this, so I was admittedly expecting to not like it. But it's actually been really nice. I'm happy to hear that. Might sound weird, but I wanted to bring you along with me for a while now, so I can introduce you to everyone. They all mean the world to me, so I really wanted to include you in all this. I see. I'm flattered that you thought so highly of me. As we all continue to enjoy this impromptu picnic, I can feel the spring breeze blowing by especially calmly and gently right now. Ah, I get it now. I think I finally understand just how much you mean to me. Sorry, Damon, I didn't catch that. Did you say something just now? He lets out another deep chuckle as he sighs happily. Don't mind me, just mumbling to myself. No! The rest of the day passes by at a steady pace. Damon and I say our goodbyes to everyone and head back towards the bakery as soon as the sun starts to set. Once we're at the front door, Damon wishes me a good night and vanishes in another wisp of green sparks, with an even brighter smile than usual on his face. It's another regular morning at the bakery. The weather outside is fairly nice, and I'm finishing up my prep for the first visitors of the day. The procession has been here for longer than everyone thought they'd be, but as a result, I've gotten to hang out with Damon more often. Damon's been visiting around this time as of late. I can't wait. It's honestly been really nice talking to him. I hear the bell on the door ring and turn to look with a smile on my face, but it quickly fades as instead of Damon walking inside, it's one of the Fey Royal Guards. Are you Emil Mayer? I am. How can I help you? This is a slow bird. I need to turn into a firefighter. What do you mean slow bird? This is fairly short. This is what I mean, bro. What do you mean slow burn? They've had cute moments together, a bunch. Your brain rotted. Your TikTok fanfic ruined, okay? I'm telling you now. You've been summoned to King Sully's study for an urgent matter. It'd be in your best interest to comply and arrive post-haste. Alright, let me just put my things away and lock up first. They give me a nod and promptly leave. Then I put away what I was doing and think to myself, Hopefully this isn't anything too serious, but just in case. After making sure everything's put away, I step outside, I lock the door and leave a sign on it that reads, "I'm at the palace, we'll be back soon," then head off. We're not coming back, bro. The walk through the city feels more tiring than usual as my mind races thinking about all the reasons why I could have been summoned. I eventually make it to the front gates, and the two guards who have usually greeted me with cheery smiles both look at me with worry. "We heard about the summons. No need for a check, you can go on through. You take care, alright?" "I will. Thanks." They ring the bell, and after a terse moment, the gates... My cat is, like, yelling. I don't know why. Okay. Okay, he stopped. I don't know, man. They ring the bell, and after a terse moment, the gates slowly swing open. With a steadying breath, I walk inside. A guard inside the castle greets me and proceeds to silently escort me towards the king's study. Yeah, you can hear? Yeah, I just, like, looked over and I'm like, what's going on, bro? What's going on, little bro? He just looks at me. The cat just looks at me and then just shuts up. And I'm like, all right. Cool, little bro. A guard inside the castle greets me, proceeds to silently escort me towards the king's study. I can see the doors of the study coming into view a little further down the hall, along with a certain someone peeking from around the corner. Ugh. We lock eyes for a brief moment, and then Zeke looks at me with incredible worry. However, it quickly changes to a determined glare as he mouths, "I'll be right back," and runs off. Soon we arrive in front of the king's study, and after knocking on the door to announce our presence, we're let inside. The air inside the study feels more stifling than it did before we walked in. It's completely silent, with several Fey and human guards near the walls, and King Celius standing by his desk along with someone else. Off near the windows is an intimidating man who looks straight at me with a stern gaze. He's significantly taller than me, dressed in dark colors with silver and obsidian accents. His slicked back ebony hair makes the circlet sitting on his head stand out, and as I stare at the pair of horns on his head and his familiar green eyes, he speaks up. He's horny too! He reminds me of someone. "This is the boy, then." "Yes, this is Emil." His despondent, unimpressed stare feels like it's peering directly into my soul as he continues. "Father, no way." For the human that's been such a distraction to him, he's certainly more plain than I was expecting. Regardless, I'd like a word with him in private. The rest of you may leave now." On cue, the Fey guards march out of the door, into the hall. King Celius motions to the human guards, and they follow him out of the room. "My apologies, Emil. Good luck." Gives me a quick pat on the shoulder, and soon enough the only ones left in the study are myself and the man who hasn't stopped glaring at me this whole time. I offer him a polite bow. "It's an honor to meet you, Your Majesty." So you are as bright as you said you were. This won't take too long, then." He gestures at the seat in front of the desk, and with a nod, I promptly sit down onto it. "I imagine you're curious as to why you've been summoned." "That's correct." "Well, it's quite simple, really. I assume you're aware that my son is with me on this visit." I nod. "For some time now, he's shown disinterest in inheriting the throne from me, going as far as avoiding his lessons by running off to who knows where every time. This behavior of his has devolved even further after we arrived here. As I started to look into why that's the case, I learned that it's because of you. Even without showing it on his face, I can tell from the tone of his voice that I need to be careful with my words." "But why? I've never met your son." "Or have I? He's been visiting that bakery of yours practically every day, ignoring his responsibilities and outright avoiding me personally." "My apologies, Your Majesty, but I've just been doing my job." "I understand your concerns, but if you're about to ask me to stop your son from visiting my store, then I'm going to have to refuse." "I had a feeling you'd say that." He sighs, then continues. "Since that's not an option, I'm afraid I'll have to be stricter. Emil Mayer, until I and the rest of the procession leave the capital, you are to close your shop and cease all interactions with the Fae. You'll also be under strict surveillance to ensure this is followed. This is not a request, it is an order." "You're not my king! Fuck you! Fuck you, bro. You're not my king." Can't begin to describe all the emotions I'm feeling right now as I desperately try to hold back the urge to show it on my face. Forgive me if I come off as rude, but you have no right to demand that of me. Not only are you saying that I should close my shop and not interact with any Fae, but that you'll also surveil me the entire time? I'm a citizen of the Celius capital, not one of your subjects, your majesty. Despite my argument, King Regis doesn't falter, continuing to simply stare at me with that piercing gaze of his. You're braver than I expected you to be. I can understand what he sees in you now. Nevertheless, I've been granted permission to enact this from King Celius himself, so there is no use in arguing. But, my king sold me out? My liege! My lord! Just as I struggle to formulate my next thoughts, the room suddenly flashes with a bright, blinding light he took out his dick. I quickly close my eyes in response, and when I open them again, I see an unexpected group appear in the room. We did it! Excellent work, you three. But Mr. McGraw and the fairies, why are you all... We were headed over to the bakery when we saw that guard leave earlier. That's right, we got worried, so we flew to the old man and quickly teleported you two to you together. This is my lawyer. King, this is my lawyer. Talk to the old man goblin. As the three fairies huddle around me with worry, King Regis speaks up, his voice is commanding the entire space. What is the meaning of this interruption? All four of them turned to face him and offered polite bows. I'm not gonna lie, by the way. I don't know if this was intentional or not, but this king... This is a femme king. This is like a femboy king. Like, come on now. You're wearing a dress. Your fucking chest is showing. I could see your one little chesticle there. Your hair is pulled back into a ponytail. Bro, you're a femboy king. Sorry about that. Just had to say it. I had to say it, okay? I could tell it was a dude because of the way they draw their faces between women and men, but like, come on, man. We greet the ruler of the Crimson Peaks. My name is Ronan McGraw, your majesty, and I am a finance analyst for several people here in the capital and in the town over. And these three are a group of fairies who live in the grove outside of the capital. Pleased to meet you, your majesty. May I ask why you all suddenly barged in here? Yeah, the king could get you all killed. Wow. Chill. Chill, cats. Okay, he doesn't want pettings. Your Majesty, please don't ban Emil from seeing us. There's no telling how long you'll be in the capital. To wait that long just to see him again would make everyone miserable. Damn. Making him close his shop would hurt him in the long run as well. It's both his income and his home, your Majesty. If this stay happens to take longer than I predicted, you wouldn't have the means to keep that roof over his head. You'd be putting the boy out on the street as a result of your order. I mean, I could work at a different bakery. As King Regis silently listens to them, Azalea's eyes get misty. I know you have your concerns, but if it wasn't for Emil, I probably wouldn't be here right now. I don't want to see him go through something like this, so please, your Majesty. Aw, Az, don't cry. It'll be okay, Az. Ass. The king turns to look at me with a thoughtful expression on his face. It's been quite a long time since I've seen the Fae regard a human this highly. Tell me, boy, what are these Fae to you? My customers? Money banks? I look over at the four of them and can't help but give them a soft smile as I hold back my tears. They're like family to me. My life wouldn't be as bright as it is now if it wasn't for these four, and the two nymphs who also live in the grove nearby, being such an important part of it. Turn back to look at King Regis, my smile changing into a determined stare. Barring me from any contact with them would be the same as ripping me away from my own family. The king is silent for a moment as he closes his eyes to think. When he opens them again, his expression is a bit softer than before. I suppose forbidding you from interacting with all Fae was too much. Very well, I retract that from my earlier order. The fairy trio starts to flutter about happily and rushes to hug me, and Mr. McGraw lets out a deep breath he was holding this whole time. However, you are still to keep that shop of yours closed for the duration of our stay. Since it is your home, you may still live in it, of course, but any and all business that would take place is forbidden. Slam! Not if I have anything to say about it! Suddenly bursting into the room, practically breaking the doors off of their hinges, is Queen Robertina, followed by Lady Marjorie and a handful of maids, all carrying several large stacks of paper. Yeah, I serve the queen. And you know who the king serves? The queen. He doesn't get to make all the orders. This is a monarchy. No, that's not the right word. What's the queen? What's the female version of a monarchy? It is a monarchy, right? Yeah. I forgore, chat. A good day to you, King Regis. Likewise. May I ask why you suddenly interrupted us as well, Queen Celius? Yeah, okay, it's monarchy and patriarchy. Okay, yeah. It's a monarchy, bitch. Because unlike my husband, I have a spine. As such, I'm willing to make a few enemies if it means making sure no one stomps all over one of my favorite citizens. She glances over at me for a moment before continuing. Back to the matter at hand, I absolutely refuse to sit back and let you jeopardize Emil and his bakery. I've personally been a patron for many years. If anything were to happen to him as a result of this, I would not hesitate to return the favor tenfold back onto you. Marjorie, girls, please bring in all the material we collected. Okay. Yes, Your Highness. On cue, Marjorie and the maids carry their large stacks of documents over to the desk. Afterwards, they give the royal duo polite curtsies, and King Regis starts to flip through the pages. Are these all transactions with the boys' shop? That is correct. Many tea parties, luncheons, and even some balls were held together by Emil and his baking. I'm certainly not the only dedicated customer he has, so to deprive us of his service simply because of the little spat you're having with your son is out of the question. She chuckles a little, the fan in front of her face failing to hide the smug look she's giving him, and she goes on. I also seem to recall that your wife had many positive things to say about the baked goods at that tea party I held not too long ago. You wouldn't want to disappoint her as well, now would you? Quickly recovering, King Regis lets out a deep chuckle. My, what a shrewd woman you are. Very well then. Emil may or may continue to do his usual business in the bakery, while we're in the capital. Queen Robertina fans her face with a proud smile as I offer her a deep bow. Thank you so much for your help, Your Highness. Emil, dear, think nothing of it. As soon as Zeke told me what was going on, I had the girls put together everything post-haste. After she says that, I look around the room, realizing that he isn't even here with them. If he ran to you, then where is he now? Oh, he only saw me on the way to his actual destination. There's someone else that had to know about all this too, you know. We're here. On cue, Zeke's loud voice echoes from outside in the hall, and as everyone turns to look at him, I see my aunt trailing behind him. Emil! Her face is full of worry, but she quickly composes herself and offers the royals a firm salute. Greetings, Queen Robertina and King Regis. Greetings from me as well. People in this region sure seem to enjoy barging in on conversations, I see. He scoffs, then gives the duo his full attention. If you two are also here to vouch for young Emil, then you've arrived too late. I've already rescinded all of my orders against him. All of them except the surveillance one. He glances at me from the corner of his vision. While I may have been swayed for your shop and your contact with the Fae, my stance on the topic of keeping watch over you will not change. But, Your Majesty, how will I take a shower? As I said, my stance will not change. My son needs to think about his birthright, not get distracted gallivanting around with a random human here in the capital. Especially one whose first 10 years of life cannot be accounted for. What? What, you're making fun of me because I'm poor? I look over at my aunt, who has the same worried expression on her face as I do right now. There's a good reason for that, we assure you. No matter what that reason could be, I imagine you'd understand why I refuse to be lenient about this. Regardless if keeping surveillance on you is how I'll be sure to keep him in line, then that's how it's going to be. He fully turns away from me, making it obvious that he does not intend to listen to me any further. He's making fun of my orphanism. Oh no! While I'm trying to come up with some sort of response, the air around us slowly becomes more electrified, and the rumbling of thunder can be heard from outside. Crack! Father! As I flinch back from the noise, Damon appears, accompanied by a sudden flash of lightning. Damn, bro. The charged feeling from earlier gets even stronger, as sparks fly around him while he glares at King Regis with terrifying anger. His Majesty, however, is unfazed by this. I mean, he is a dragon too, you know. I see you've decided to finally stop avoiding me. Because you're here berating my human, as if you don't have anything better to do with your time. His angry expression shifts into worry as Damon fully turns to look at me. Emil, are you alright? I'm fine, Your Majesty. Thank you for the concern. Yeah, that was kind of rude. Why do you say my human, bro? What the hell? What am I to you, a toy? No, say it properly. Say my fiance. I avert my gaze, unable to look at the heartbroken expression he's giving me right now. He then clicks his tongue and goes back to glaring at the king. It wasn't enough to bar me from all the things I enjoyed doing back at home. Now you've decided to do the same here. Because you need to be thinking about the throne, not cavorting with a human with no background here in the capital. You had all the time in the world before your ceremony to mess around. Now it's time for you to finally act like the adult you are. Ha. Yeah, you kiss on marriage? Duh. Come on, Killer Cat Black. Just because not everyone's a whore like you. I'm kidding. I'm sorry. You're not a whore if you're kissing people before marriage, okay? He's just saving himself for marriage, dude. Duh. As if you hadn't been trying to stop me even before the ceremony as well. You want me to inherit the throne that badly? Then fine. Why don't I save us both the trouble and rip that crown and the head it's setting off on your damn shoulders? Off of your damn shoulders, if that's what you wish. King Regis is silent for a moment as he glances around the room. Everyone, myself included, all look at them with concerned expressions, and soon enough he lets out a deep sigh. What the hell is that? Get out of here. Stubborn, as always. Very well. I'll retract all my orders against the young human here. Even the surveillance one. But that does not mean this discussion is over, Damon. We'll continue this later. With one last huff, King Regis vanishes into a wisps of purple sparks, and as soon as he's gone, the stressful air in the room finally calms down. Everyone huddles close to me, letting out their pent-up worry. Are you okay, Emil? That's terrifying. How are you holding up? It was impressive how you stood your ground against him, my boy. If you need anything, I could get Marjorie or the other girls to help you. Seeing everyone so worried about me makes me feel a little bashful, and I look over at my aunt, who's sighing in relief. She then pulls me into a deep hug. I'm sorry we were late, Emil. I'm so glad you're all right. If I'd known about this earlier, I would have barged in here and stood my ground against him for you. It's all right. I'm happy you're here regardless. As Aunt Agnes comforts me, I see the maids and Lady Marjorie curtsy and exit the room. Queen Robertina takes a moment to linger near the door. I'll leave you be so you can have your private moment. In the meantime, I have a husband to lecture for the next few hours. Farewell for now. Yeah, your husband sold me out. What the hell? With a haughty laugh, she struts out of the room. Water. Water good. Mr. McGraw then walks up to me and gently pats me on the back, and the fairy trio flutters around me. We'll also be on our way. We'll see you back at the bakery, though. Oh, can I get a stretch check, too? And finish off with some good posture chats. Yeah, we'll help you. We'll clean up so you can unwind. We'll see you soon, okay? Sure. Thank you, everyone. They all nod at me and then vanish with another bright flash of light. Now the only ones left in the room are myself, Aunt Agnes, and the two princes. Damon looks at Zeke for a moment, then averts his gaze sheepishly. Prince Zekehart, thank you for letting me know this was happening. I probably would have been clueless if not for you. Prince Zeke? You're the one that got Damon? Of course. I had a feeling he was hanging around the bakery waiting for you, so I asked Captain Mayor to pick her fastest runner to get him as soon as possible. I'm unable to hold back just how touched I am at Zeke's efforts, as my eyes start to get a little misty. Thank you, Zeke. You're welcome. You know I'm willing to help you in any way. He glances at Damon briefly. You better take good care of him, all right? I will. Thank you again. Don't mention it. I'll leave you be now. Don't hesitate to summon me if you need anything else. Wow, the good rival ending. With that, Zeke turns and struts out of the room as well. Aunt Agnes tightens her grip on me momentarily. I can help you get anything you need, like groceries or the like for the time being, alright? After something like that, I'd imagine you want to take it easy for a while. You're not wrong. But are you sure? She nods. Of course I am. It's the least I could do for you, especially since I got here late. She hugs me tightly one more time before turning to face Damon. Make sure he gets home safely, alright, Your Majesty? Of course. You can count on me. She lets out, I like how we're being treated like the maiden. What the fuck? She lets out a happy sigh, ruffles my hair before exiting, leaving me and Damon alone in the study. Guys, we're just a baker, okay? Chill out. We don't say anything for a moment, simply standing awkwardly in silence, before Damon eventually speaks up. I can take you back to the bakery if you'd like. It'll be a bit of a bumpy ride, though. I don't mind. I just really want to go back home after all this. He gives me a nod with a gentle smile. He steps in close and wraps his arms around me. After a moment's hesitation, I drape mine across his shoulders, and we're blanketed by a gentle green light. Poof. Poof! In the blink of an eye, we're standing in the main area of the bakery. I take a moment to get my bearings, letting the familiar sense comfort me after everything I just went through. And in the front of the shop, already getting to work cleaning up the things I left behind earlier, are Mr. McGraw and the fairies. Welcome back, Emile. Welcome back, Your Majesty. We've been cleaning up the front a bit for you. That's right. We're more than happy to help so you two can unwind. Thank you. That really means so much. Ha ha ha. Think nothing of it, my boy. Now come along, you three. Let's move some stuff to the storage room at the back. Okay. I watch them carry away a bunch of supplies to the kitchen door, chuckling a little to myself as I walk over to the door and take off the sign I left on it earlier. Meanwhile, Damon, who's been silent this whole time, watches me with a concerned expression. Are you alright, Emile? I'll be fine. It was just a lot at once. I do my best to give Damon a reassuring smile, but his expression just sinks even further. I'm sorry about everything that happened. I had no idea that he'd act like that and treat you so harshly. It's my own fault for ignoring the problem. He looks away for a moment, then back at me with an even more apologetic frown. I'm also sorry that I lied to you this whole time. The truth is, I'm the Fey Prince you've heard so much about. My name is Damon Elliot von Regis. I know it might be difficult to process, but... Damon, it's okay. I knew. What? I didn't! My interruption makes him stare at me with a bewildered look. We didn't know at all! You did. Since when? From the beginning. From the beginning. You tried your best, and I appreciate that you did, but it was a little obvious considering everything. A pink blush then lights up his cheeks. Yeah, I see. His bashfulness soon fades as that heartbroken expression from earlier reappears on his face. Earlier, when I finally arrived and you called me Your Majesty, I understand why you did it, considering how angry my father was, but it still hurt to hear. All my life, I've always hated only being called Prince Regis or the Fey Prince. The only thing it does is intimidate people, make them afraid of me. I hate it so much. But when we met for the first time, you didn't recognize me immediately. I decided to not introduce myself that way, to just call myself Damon. And it honestly felt so wonderful every time you'd call me Damon, like I was finally seen as myself, not as my title. But hearing you call me Your Majesty earlier, that just felt so... Damon. Okay? As Damon's eyes start to well up with tears, I walk over to him and gently help wipe them away. He takes my hand and delicately rests it against his cheek. Nice CG. It was when I was feeling so lost about myself and everything with the throne that I heard about your shop and about you. The way the other Fae would talk about this place. It sounded so warm and comforting, so I wanted to see if it truly was the way they described. After spending time with you here, I realized just how right they were. You and your shop are even more wonderful than I could have ever imagined. How comfortable it is in the bakery. Just how at peace I feel. It's all the things I haven't felt in such a long time and have missed so much. As the tears slowly stop trickling down his face, he then looks at me with a tender smile and a pink blush lighting up his cheeks. And I'll admit that in the time I've spent with you, whether I was just relaxing while you worked, or when you'd set aside time to be with me, I've grown really fond of you. His face gets even redder after saying that, bashfully looking away from me before continuing. The way you'd always take your time to answer my questions, how you'd involve me in things, make sure I'm alright and feel included. I really liked it. It makes me want to be with you longer, to get to know you more. With every sentence, I can feel my face growing redder. With every sentence, I can feel my face growing redder. Damon peeks at me from the corner of his vision as he watches my reaction. How am I supposed to top a confession like that? You mean? I give him a bashful nod. Yes, I'll admit it. I really like you as well. I won't lie. From the beginning, I thought you were attractive. Oh. Let me finish. Just like you, I also found myself really enjoying the moments we spent together. I even started looking forward to when you'd visit. I would be willing to maybe get to know each other more, if that's alright. His surprised expression lights up into an excited smile, as the blush on his face gets even brighter as a result. I'd love to. I'd really love to. And this time, if my father tries something against you again, I'll be there to help you. I swear by it. We laugh together, both of us feeling extremely giddy about everything, as we give each other tender smiles. However, Damon slowly starts to fade, and he then looks away for a moment in silence. What's wrong? About earlier. When my father berated you about having no background. What did he mean by that, if you don't mind me asking? I blink at him, but then let out a sigh. Ah, that part. Well, it's as he said. There's no info about me from before my aunt adopted me, because I lost all of it. Remember when I said I'm not from the capital? Damon nods. I was actually born and raised in the Western Harbor. I lived there with my parents until I was about 10 years old. The Western Harbor, you mean? Yeah, we got caught up in the Navy coup. My father was a captain, and from what Aunt Agnes told me, he apparently tried to fight it early on and got overpowered. Meanwhile, my mother left the city for business before everything went to hell. She's been missing for so long that she's also considered deceased. It was a long few weeks by myself. I could feel my hands starting to shake, but Damon gently holds them and wraps one arm around me. Thank you. I breathe slowly to steady myself, and once the shaking subsides, I continue. After it calmed down, I heard that the capital was offering to help anyone who was impacted, so I made the risky decision to come here. Didn't you say you were 10, and you traveled all that way on your own? It does sound crazy, doesn't it? But it somehow worked out, and I was able to meet with my aunt because of it. And along the way, I ended up learning something about myself. I avert my gaze from Damon before continuing. The whole trip, I got mistaken for a boy, but I actually kind of liked it. Something about everyone calling me boy or lad made me feel a way I never felt before. When I got to the capital, I had to talk with my aunt about it. She was the one to push me to give this a try and see how I felt. Oh, okay, wow, what a twist. And well, I've been like this ever since. I look back at Damon, who's giving me the softest smile I've seen from him yet, as he quietly listens to me go on. Trans! Oh, I thought it was a slime. Oh. I thought it was a slime, bro. I thought this was a fantasy. No, I thought I was slime. Reincarnated as a slime. My bad, my bad. Hearing you talk about how comforting me and my bakery really means a lot. Because that's exactly what I was going for when I made this place. I'm a slime. Just like the children's book I picked my name from. I wanted to be like the kind baker Emile and give everyone that visits a place to feel at peace. Just like how that book helped me so much when I was younger. Now I'm the one with tears in my eyes as I try my best to wipe them away to no avail. Sorry, I can't seem to stop. It's alright, just let it all out. Damon pulls me into a warm hug and gently plants a kiss on my forehead. This comforting feeling makes me unable to hold back any longer as the tears just start to pour out. That's actually a very nice little change. I love that Emile early on said that he was named after the book, but it kind of makes so much more sense that he named himself. We stay like this for a while, with Damon silently comforting me as I cry out all the tears I didn't know I was holding in. That's his chosen name. Soon enough, I feel the last of them trickle out, then stare into the deep green eyes that are looking back at me so tenderly. Could I be a little selfish right now? You can be as selfish as you want. There we go! Let's fucking go, dude! Oh, I was so worried it wasn't gonna happen, dude. Okay. Both of us then close our eyes and lean in, pressing our lips together to share a gentle kiss. Damon slightly lifts me onto the tips of my toes so I can reach him easier, and we slowly get into a rhythm we're comfortable with. Nice. The more this goes on, the more I feel tender warmth on my face as time seems to slow down to a crawl. Right now, it feels like it's just the two of us in the entire world. Nice. Slowly open my eyes and pull away to see Damon giving me that soft smile once again, this time with his face a bright pink. You know, earlier when you came in to help me, I definitely heard you call me your human. Well, I just got swept up in everything and can't help but giggle as I plant a cheeky peck on his lips. I'd be alright with you calling me that, so long as I can call you my dragon. Damon blinks and then lets out a loud laugh and returns a kiss of his own. Of course, it'd make me the happiest in the world if you called me that. How you doing, kitty? Sharing another laugh, we then continue to kiss each other, feeling more and more at peace with one another. I really hope that the goblin and the fairies are just like standing right there as we're making out over here. Yep! Emil, we've finished putting away all the, oh. I see. Let me pull up a chair. What's the matter, old man? Nothing's the matter. Come along, you three. Let's give these two some privacy. Okay. Damn. The Baker of Fairyland! Oh my god! Oh my, come on now! Oh, come on! There's no way the book was also about... There was no way that there was a book about a baker who fucked a dragon in the book before I was born, too. Come on now. Soon the dragon begins to weep, as the sweetness makes tears fall from its eyes like raindrops. Everyone's always afraid of me. I see my big horniness and all my scales, and think I'm scary, but I don't mean to be. Saw your horns. You, who has helped all those other fae, please tell me, what can I do so they stop being afraid of me? The kind baker wipes the dragon's tears away, and he gives them a gentle smile. People are always afraid of things that are bigger than them, things that seem different. But that fear is just because they don't know, and once they do, they'll start to open their hearts more and more. It won't happen right away, but should you give me the chance, I promise that I can help them slowly warm up to you. Will it hurt? It might. Will I be sad? Maybe a little. But will it be worth it in the end? Absolutely. The dragon sheds the last of its tears, then gives the baker a hesitant nod. They then follow the baker out of the forest back to the bakery, where all the other fae are waiting for them. Emil. I close the book with a happy sigh, then put it away as I turn to Damon. I finished organizing everything like you asked. Is he just working with us? Great work. Thanks. It's been about a month since Damon and I confessed to each other. Because of what happened in the king's study, the Celius royals offered to help the two of them talk things out. As a result, they eventually decided that giving Damon some time away from the Fae capital would be good for him. King Regis and the rest of the procession went back, and Damon stayed behind here, not only to better connect with his fellow Fae, but to also do more studying at his own pace. Yeah, I don't think this was a good idea. I don't think bro's going back. He's been staying with me this whole time. Right now he's helping me clean up the front of the store, while I prepare everything we need for the usual visit to the grove. Blanket, the snacks I baked for everyone. There, that's everything. Then I'll go grab my cloak, and we can head out to see everyone. Seeing that bright smile on his face as he thinks about everyone at the grove makes me giggle a little. He gets so excited now when we go on these visits. Don't tease me. After laughing a little at how flustered he's getting, I let out another happy sigh. What is it? Just thinking to myself for a moment. I remember as a kid, I sometimes wondered why the author chose to make Emil a baker of all things. But now, after everything, I think I know why. Say the title. Say the title. I'll look down at the book with a smile. That feeling of warmth and comfort that he gives the Fae as he helps them with their problem. It's the same kind of feeling you get from eating freshly baked goods. Like fresh bread. Say the title. A freshly baked loaf of bread that When you take your first bite, it makes your heart feel all aflutter. You know? Come on, man. You should try to at least make it word for word the title, okay? But that was pretty good. There's the title drop! Damon chuckles at this, then gives me a smug smile. That was incredibly cheesy. Oh, be quiet. You know what I'm getting at, though. We both share a laugh, and then get the last of our things in order before we head out. You ready? Yep. We gently hold hands, and with a quick kiss on the lips, we head off towards the forest together. Thank you for playing! Yeah! There you go, chat. That's it. That's the story. That's our Yaoi, fluffy Yaoi story. It was good. It's been a while since I played something like this. Oh, no, the title's changed. It's awesome. It's good. Based! I don't know what to make the thumbnail, chat. What the hell? There's so much to do. Gallery! Based, based, based. Is this the thumbnail? This the thumbnail? Is this, no. In the nicest way possible. This the thumbnail? I feel like this. No, I don't know what to make the thumbnail, dude. Oh, no, wait, I know. This with this. Yeah, okay. The saucy one. Now, where the fuck is the sauce, bro? I don't see no sauce anywhere. One where they are on the grass? Oh, really? But that's too small. I can't make that the whole thumbnail. I could do... Okay, how about this? I do this, like, on like, the right or left. Like, half. And then the other half, I put, like... Shit. I can put, like, this... Maybe like that and this. Or like just this. Shit. And this. Maybe like 2 little cards. What do you think? You're cooking, king. Okay. YouTube! Thank you so much for watching. It's been a while since we got a game like this. Like a really, really amazing art style. Fluffy story between some really cute guys. Yaoi, like boys love stuff like this. Last one we played was probably the... what was it called? My Comfortable Cat? It was a game with the artist was Echoberry. I freaking or was it Echoberry? It was, right? Here, let me see. My cat. Let me see. Yeah, it was My Confounding Cat is Criminally Cute. That's the last time I played a game like this. Yeah, and the art was by Echoberry. Very, very cute art. It reminded me a lot of this, actually. I thought about that one too, yeah. Yeah, it reminded me a lot of that one. That one was a pretty long game. If you definitely, if you want some fluffy romance, boys love, you should definitely check out that video. It's actually like 7 hours long, the whole playthrough of that one. It was extremely long. I split it up into 3 videos. But yeah, that one was really, really good, and it gave vibes like this a lot. We also played Starry Flowers a while back. That one, if you're looking for something a little more spicy, that one's definitely a little more spicy and definitely gives vibes like this one. And another one that's, what was the other one? Oh, Just Kiss Him Already. That was another one we played. That's also very, very fluffy boys love. There's not too many games like this that come out that aren't too long that I actually get to play. Because I always try to play I gotta keep it short, you know? I gotta play the shorter games. So I can't always play games like super, super long. But I love whenever games like this come out. I know they're not the most popular. I know a lot of you guys want to get to those like kisses like right away or like have the obsessed yandere. But honestly... If I'm being honest, these are my favorite kind of games. These are my favorite kind of yaoi boys love games. Just romance in general, because, like I say all the time, I really like romance. I really like it. But I tend to like the fluffy stuff more. Like, I tend to like the fluff. I don't even call this a slow burn! Okay, Killer Cat Black is like, this is slow burn. I don't think it was slow burn. I thought it was great. Slow burn to me is like, they haven't even met each other for an hour. Like, that's slow burn to me. That's like slow burn to me. Like, we haven't even met the love interest for like an hour. But yeah, I thought it was really good, and that was interesting. It was about, I think the total video length is gonna be like what, like maybe a little less than 3 hours. Maybe like, Yeah, maybe a little less than, maybe 3 hours exactly. But great game. I really enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the video too. Let me know what your favorite part was. Favorite romantic moment. But yeah, and definitely check out those other videos I listed. I'll leave some links and stuff, okay? Listen, I've been watching a series where they still haven't kissed in season 8. Brother, that's not a slow burn. That's not a glacial burn. It's just not happening, okay? It's just not happening, bro. It's just, that shit ain't happening. You gotta get over it, okay? Okay, but yeah, if you want to see some other stuff just like this, go check out the videos I mentioned. If you want to see some more yaoi romance games, there's tons in the visual novel playlist, okay? I've literally played hundreds at this point of romance visual novels with more spicy ones included, okay? So check that out for sure. Clock that like button and subscribe for sure if you enjoyed this video. I know we said that earlier on, but I really appreciate it. It's a longer video, and when I do these longer videos, I really appreciate it if you guys could make that help me out. You know, give me something back, I guess. It's for free. You know, it's for free. Helps me out. You know, thank you. If you made it this far to the video, drop a comment. You know, whatever you want. Bread makes the heart aflutter. What makes your heart aflutter? Bread, flowers, chocolates? Let me know, okay? And with that, I'm clocking out. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. And I will see y'all in the next video. Peace.